I believe submarines underneath deep blue sea. Saw the flags, Japanese. No one will believe me. Ran back to the town bar and I told the people how I'd seen a submarine and everyone laughed aloud. I did spy a periscope, dead of night on the eastern coast. The police made them jokes, told me I'd seen a ghost. Everyone thinks I'm a liar, no one knows the truth. If it was a bigger fire, I would be on the roof. Ships will rust in Baldwin Bay. No one trusts what I say. Oh my God, no one paid. Overnight my hair turned gray. In the end it boils down to credibility. I had none, so I would die with the secrets of the sea. Submarine.
Submarines. Thank you very much, Lumineers. Welcome to the show. I'm Harry. With me is Tyson. I hope he's back.
Oh, I'm back. And let
Oh,
me
he's
talk
back.
to you.
Man, WrestleMania 41 Night 1 is behind us.
In the books.
Quite a turn of events, I should say. Although, I mean, it was rumored, so that kind of got spoiled. Stupid internet.
What rumor?
The ending of the well, I guess we can talk about it. But how was your week, man?
Pretty good week, as always. Nothing exciting.
Yeah.
So that's always good.
I had a sort of an incident. Like it's a suburban incident, I guess. Nobody died. But I'm walking my dog, just minding my own business. And this loud noise happens. My dog starts freaking out. I get him to sit. This behemoth is waddling in front of me, looking to pass me on the sidewalk. I'm a courteous motherfucker. I'll get over like in the side grass, the median, and I'll have him sit, and just so whoever can pass and there's no bullshit. Because I know if there's any incident, my dog's the one that's going to get killed. So this thing is just taking its time, sweating and breathing my air. So then my dog is he's still startled from the loud noise, and then he starts barking at this thing that's just lumbering behind me. And then instead of just moving past, minding her own business, she's dancing behind me like, oh my God. Clearly, I don't even have to look. She's clearly making eye contact with my dog who's freaking out. All the things you're not supposed to do. So I just turned to her. I'm like, will you fucking go? So now when I walk my dog, I'm going to have to watch for hillbillies looking to jump me.
Well, it could be worse. It could be them people that were eating the dogs. What happened to those people, by the way?
They got deported.
Oh,
MAGA.
good for them.
Elon Musk used his cyber team, big balls, and they got deported.
Yeah, got them out of there.
Well, anyway, let's go ahead. We got a lot of wrestling to cover.
Boy, do we.
And yeah, let's just go ahead and jump into Raw. And don't have to get too in depth into it. It's just a whole bunch of I'm going to win my matches. But we are in Sacramento, California. The Walkers are Jey Uso, Penta, then Judgment Day. Penta's facing Balor before their big Mania 4-way match. Those are always fun. Then we have CM Punk, then Rollins, who's dressed like someone who takes it in the ass. Then we have Paul Heyman. And they're all having another fucking face-off, even though Rollins laid Punk out last week and put his hands on Heyman. So I have no idea what they have to talk about. Then they recap the Jey Uso-Gunther quote-unquote feud. And Gunther comes out, talks to fucking Michael Cole. He says Jay's full of shit when he says he's not afraid of him. Cole goes to ask another question. Gunther says, fuck you, fuck Jey Uso, fuck any of you that stand with him. He's the greatest gift to the company. For 80% of his career, he's been champion. He refuses to let Jey Uso take that away from him. He says people told him that he lost control with what he did to Jimmy 2 weeks ago. He says when he bathed in Jay's brother's blood, he was in full control and loving it. And if he wasn't in control, he would have drowned both Usos in Jimmy's blood. And he says he's going to call Mama Gunther and tell her how much he loved beating the hell out of Jey Uso and still being champion. Then we had a girls match. Bayley beat Morgan. An ugly NXT chick and No Definition Rodriguez were ringside. Then they recap Punk, Rollins, Roman, and the Heyman drama. Heyman is shown waiting for Roman after that. They have Rey Mysterio Jr. beat one of the Inbreed brothers. El Grande Americano attacked Rey after the match with a metal hidden in his mask. Okay. And then the Viking Bikers had a promo. They said it's going to be war with the New Day. And then the New Day are immediately interviewed after that. And they said the warpath stops at WrestleMania. And then we had AJ Styles versus Karrion Kross. Karrion Kross is back to his old entrance theme, and yet another glaring example of Triple H having no fucking clue how to build a straw. And because he looks amazing. And the fact that this motherfucker has just been in the background doing his little dance, being a fucking jester. This motherfucker looks amazing. He looks 100 times better than any motherfucker that we've seen on TV that's not Gunther and Jacob Hutt and Roman and, the main event guys.
I will say he did dwarf AJ Styles. Like,
Shit.
it's like, man, I forgot. I mean, I remember, his NXT run was like, I forgot how how big and menacing he looks.
So he beats the shit out of AJ, looks great doing it. Like, seriously, this motherfucker needs to be the top heel now. Now.
It sounds like he's getting a push. Or
he better, fuck.
Maybe it's going to be halted, but it does sound like, he's getting, I don't know. There was a report that WWE was happy with the reaction that he's been getting. Like, he's been getting over online. And after this match, everybody was sucking him off. So
I enjoy him. Anytime I see him outside of like doing an interview or whatever, I just enjoy the shit out of his personality. I don't know anything about him, personally, which is good. But I don't know, just the way he carries himself. I do know, like, when he was doing the Sheamus, his little weightlifting channel, like, he was the only one that actually tried to demonstrate and teach you how to do shit instead of just, show off for the camera and be all that social media shit. I don't know. I like Kross.
I do too. There were some touches. I don't know what you're. You go ahead and finish what you were going to say, and then I'll add my 2 cents.
All right. So Cross mocked AJ after whipping him in the corner when AJ's gasping for air. And he stopped whipping AJ's ass ringside just to get back in the ring and bow to the crowd. And then AJ kicked out of the final prayer. Cross yelled at Styles for sandbagging him. He's like, "You are not trying to sandbag me now." Whatever that means. And then AJ recovers, starts kicking Cross in the leg, then whips Cross into the ropes. Cross just falls to the mat, clutches his ankle. He's like, "Oh!" Then they half-ass teased a match stoppage. Like, I didn't believe it for a second. And Cross gets to his feet, sucker punches AJ, and Belly laughs about it. Then he does a jig, which is great. So then Styles puts on a mean face, hits Cross with an offensive flurry, and it looks like he's about to go for the Harushi Goroshi, but Cross escapes, hits a DDT. Cross takes the elbow pad off, or his elbow pad off, rather, and goes for the cross hammer. AJ ducks it, hits the Harushi Goroshi anyway, and I'm surprised because Styles, like, didn't he, like, almost end his career from doing that?
Was it that?
I'm pretty sure it was.
Okay. Yeah, I don't remember what exactly it was, but
I'm pretty sure it was that move that he fucked his leg up, and he's still doing it. And he did it to Cross, who's significantly bigger than he is.
yeah.
And it looks like Styles' leg is fucked up now. So Cross gets to his feet. They tussle so AJ can work his way to the apron. And Cross looks into the camera. He smiles, gets to his feet, and then he puts his arms behind his back and then turns to AJ. And then AJ hits the phenomenal forearm. And they didn't say shit about it. And then Logan Paul came out after the match to talk shit. He plays a highlight reel of himself. And Cross tries to ambush Styles. He gets taken out, and Logan Paul takes out Styles.
So, yes, they did undersell. I don't think they caught the whole smiling and then hands behind the back thing.
He looked directly into the camera.
Yeah, I think they mentioned it softly, but they didn't, like, go in on it. And he explained it afterwards. So,
Did he?
yeah, he had a WWE.com interview, and he was talking about being upset that he lost. And he said, but this is bigger, this is bigger than me. AJ Styles, he has to win, or basically, he can't lose to a YouTuber or, this whole wrestling thing. Like, what have I been doing for my life if all you have to do is get popular on social media and get everything you need instead of working for it. And he said, but, I'm not mad, though, that I lost. And it's like, why would I be mad? I'm going to wake up next to Scarlett Bordeaux naked. He said this on WWE.com. I'm gonna wake up next to her naked. Like, I got nothing to be mad at.
Good for him.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I'm on the Cross train.
Yeah, and then the sandbagging. So basically, what he was talking about was when he went for that power bomb and he had to basically muscle AJ up.
Oh, okay.
So he's like, "Were you sandbagging me?" Because he thought AJ Styles was giving him dead weight to make him look bad. Or I don't know if he actually thought it or if he was just.
I think he was just talking shit.
Yeah. It's like, I got you anyway.
Okay.
And yeah, there were little touches, like, he's taking this character far. So, and they did mention this on commentary. So the tights he was wearing, apparently he went to the person who makes AJ Styles tights and had him make his own tights. And then also a little detail. Remember I pointed out his hair was weird?
That 1 week?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, some sleuths online caught the fact that he was wearing his hair down because he was feuding with AJ Styles. Because when he was feuding with Sami Zayn, he was wearing a man bun like Sami Zayn always wore. So there's just a little detail there.
Did he feud with Sammy?
Well,
I
remember
think they just talked shit backstage a couple of times and nothing happened.
Yeah, he was the whatever devil on Sami Zayn's shoulder or whatever.
Okay.
But yeah.
Anyway,
Hopefully
I'm fully on the cross train. He has me sold. They just need to do something with him, which I'm not optimistic until I'm given a reason to be.
I mean, we need to start with more TV time and wins, of course.
Of course. That's big.
Yeah.
Chad Gable came out. He said he's proud El Grande Americano is replacing him at WrestleMania. Says the new superstar is going to cement his legacy as the greatest luchador of all time by putting Rey Mysterio down for good. Then Jey Uso came out to dance and said he's whipping Gunther's ass.
Didn't like that segment, by the way. But
You did not?
I did it.
Why not?
Well, Gunther just cut that fiery promo talking about how he's gonna, beat the hell out of Jey Uso. Like he never lost control, and if he did, him or Jimmy and Jay would be drowning in Jimmy's blood. Fiery promo, and then we get Jey Uso out there
Dancing?
Yeah, like totally took all the steam out of what Gunther said. Now, he didn't necessarily yeet. I guess he did one like hand thrust, but
he came out dancing. He got on the announce desk, and then he made them play his music again so he can dance some more.
Yeah, the one more time thing.
Yeah, this is after Jimmy was bloodied. Yeah. After he told Gunther he's not afraid of him. After Gunther said that's bullshit, fuck all of you. I'm going to call Mama Gunther and tell her I enjoyed whipping Jay's ass. Jay comes out dancing, and he does it twice. Fuck Jey Uso.
Pretty much.
They did a Braun Breaker interview, but Judgment Day jumped him, so he didn't say anything. And then Balor beat Penta by disqualification because Braun Breaker came out and he beat up Balor. And then he hit Carlito and Dominic with a double spear. That seems to be the weekly thing now. And then Breaker tried to spear Penta, but it got blocked. And then Penta sends Breaker out of the ring, then jumps on everybody from the top rope. And then all the girls in the triple threat match had a promo throughout the show to hype up their match. And then we see Paul Heyman sitting waiting for Roman. Punk slides in. He says he's there to calm Heyman down. Roman arrives. He sees Punk and Heyman talking, and then he storms off like a woman. And then Heyman chases him. Then Roman comes out to the ring. Heyman, of course, follows, then eagerly waits to give Roman the mic when he asks for it. But Roman just brushes past Heyman, gets his own microphone for once. And he says the crowd loves their tribal chief and would never betray him. But not everyone's like the WWE wrestling crowd. There's some that would betray him. And then he asks Heyman how the wise man could betray his tribal chief. And the crowd chants, "You fucked up." And Heyman said, that wasn't a betrayal. That was a favor that I was owed. Or that was a favor that I owed. And Roman says he doesn't ask for favors. He takes what he wants. And since Roman doesn't ask for favors, he wants to know why he has to cover the tab for Heyman's dumbass favor. And then Rollins comes out, still has his fudge packing attire. And he says the winner of their match is the future of the wrestling business, which is kind of funny, even though like all three men are clearly Hall of Famers right now. So I don't know what the fuck that means. Then Rollins says favors don't happen by choice. Heyman chose Punk over Roman. And Roman says Rollins is right. Heyman made his choice, and so did he. Then he takes Rollins out. Heyman laughs. Then Roman shoves Heyman by the face. He's down on the mat. And out comes Punk. Roman and Punk fight. Punk gets hit with a spear, and then Rollins comes in, takes out Roman with a chair. He curb stomps both of them.
Rollins was making sense though.
I guess I didn't really listen because it's fucking Rollins.
Well, he was basically saying, you know, don't don't get fooled here. Like, why did Paul Heyman pick CM Punk? Like, Paul Heyman is equivalent to basically a survivor. You know, like Paul Heyman is one of the Walking Dead. Have you seen The Walking Dead?
Yeah. At least the first
Uh,
2 or 3 seasons.
well, later in the season, there's this guy. His name is Eugene, and he's basically a survivor. Like there was a point in the season where there was this new bad guy. His name was Negan, and he was trying to get everybody to basically submit to him.
Yeah.
And you know he's asking everybody, they're saying no and getting beat up. Eugene's in the group that's getting beat up, and he goes to Eugene, and before he even gets like the sentence out, it's like, I'm on your team. He's like, I'm on your team. I'm on your team. And it's like, Jesus, man. Why'd you roll like that? And he's like, I'm a survivor. I go with, you know, I see where the current's going and I go with it. That's Paul Heyman. Like, at the end of the day, he's only going to benefit himself. He was with Roman Reigns because. Now, this is what Seth Rollins was saying. This is not a spoiler. He was with Roman Reigns because at the time Roman Reigns was at the top of the company, at the top of the food chain. He was with Brock Lesnar because Brock Lesnar was at the top of the food chain. He was with CM Punk when CM Punk was at the top of the food chain. Basically, he keeps himself relevant. That's what Seth Rollins was getting at.
Okay. I guess we're overlooking the fact that he's just standing ringside for a match. One match.
Well,
They're making like this big deal over nothing.
I don't know. He's a business person.
Okay.
I don't know. He gets people in positions. He's a manager. That's for one, which you got to appreciate because there's none of those left.
I guess I don't see how Punk or Heyman would leave the tribal chief for Punk when there's not a title involved. Does Punk have the necklace now?
No, what they were trying to get at was he's leaving the tribal chief for Punk because Punk is on the rise. Punk, you know, the tribal chief lost the title. It's probably towards the end of his career. He might not get the title back, but Punk, you know, he still has a chance to
Punk's
get the
a
title.
rookie?
Well, no, but he still has a chance to get the title.
Okay. When?
I don't know. I'm sure he's going to get a title match soon.
Okay.
Well, I don't know now, but yeah, he's going to get a title match soon. He's a hotter hand than Roman Reigns, let's say, because you know Roman's there part time, and so that's why Paul Heyman would leech onto.
I just don't see the point in jumping ship if there was a title match or Punk somehow became champion. I could see the transition, but it's a lateral move
Today, but not in the future.
Who knows what the future holds? I think either one of them could have a title shot tomorrow. Well, not literally tomorrow, but either one of them could have a title shot.
I don't think Roman's getting another title shot.
Ever?
Maybe ever.
Okay.
I mean,
he's okay for a while.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's definitely in a position where he doesn't need the title anymore.
It's just weird that he hasn't gotten his rematch.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think he's gonna get one.
But yeah, that was Raw. And moving on to SmackDown. We are in Las Vegas, site of WrestleMania 41. Walkers are Cody Rhodes, Motor City Machine Guns, Street Profits, Solo, and Tama Tonga also were there. LA Knight comes up from behind Tama Tonga and Solo. He slams Tama's arm into a car door and then runs away. And Fatu was not with them.
Nope.
And then Seth Rollins came out. He talked some shit about Punk and Reigns. Say he's going to win their match. And he sat like Punk in the middle of the ring because he's unoriginal. And then Carmelo Hayes won the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal.
Hey, Carmelo Hayes. Good for you, son. Got you a big moment. Now you're equal to Braun Breaker.
And Baron Corbin.
Right, no. I'm saying he's top of the card now. You might as well get a title match. Because he won that Battle Royal. You know, that Battle Royal historically just means you're going to get a big push.
Obviously.
Just look at the history of who's won that Battle Royal. You're just getting a big push after you win that thing. So, this is his moment. That was, though, I will say, in seriousness, that was a fun Battle Royal. Like, I don't know. For one, every person I thought was going to win, they would get eliminated. So, like, I was like, oh, this person got eliminated, so I guess they're going to go with this person. And then they would get eliminated next. It's like, oh, well, then they're going to go with this person. They're out. So that kept happening. I was like, well, who the hell's going to win it? Oh, it's probably Ray Phoenix. Nope, he's out. So I couldn't get it right. But good for Mr. Hayes. And so Chad Gable was in the Battle Royal. He got eliminated by Ray Phoenix. And then El Grande Americano revenged Chad Gable later on and eliminated Ray Phoenix because he was doing the tightrope walk and he grabbed the ropes. So keep that in mind for later.
All right. Well, Charlotte had an interview. I'm sure she had horrible things to say about Tiffany Stratton. Then Ripley came out to say how she's going to win their match. Like, doesn't she have a 3-hour show of her own to do this on? And didn't they already do this? She did a fucking promo already. Anyway, Io and Bianca came out. They talked their shit. Naomi came out to bitch at Bianca for not talking to her. And then Jade comes out. Naomi runs away. And for some reason, Jade starts arguing with Bianca. And then for some other fucking reason, Ripley gets in Jade's face. And then Naomi comes back. Jade attacks and brawl. Naomi comes back, attacks Jade, and a brawl ensues. And then Io jumped on everybody.
Okay. For some reason, I don't remember Rhea being there.
Oh,
but it does make sense. It makes sense.
Started off. First of all, her promos suck. She's a terrible promo. She looks good. She looks menacing, but I fucking hate her promos. She tries too hard to be natural and she sucks at it.
Okay.
And then she got in Jade's face, and that fucking face that she made, I would not have been upset if Jade just decked her.
Well, I guess we got a little mini tease for Jade Rhea Ripley match in the future.
I'm tired of seeing Rhea just getting people's faces and nobody just laying her out.
Oh, she beat Tozawa.
That's true. Forgot. Gable and the Embry brothers set up a match with the Mysterios later. So, okay, I didn't watch the Battle Royal, of course. So I see this masked guy just huffing and puffing along the wall. So I'm like, oh, okay, Dragon Lee's going to wrestle one of the one of the alphas later. And then I see the other one. I think it was, I don't know who the fuck it was. It was either Dragon Lee or Phoenix. They look the same, is what I'm trying to say. And then Mysterio came. It didn't look any better.
They do look the same, and it did take me a while. Like, yeah, they don't. I mean, I think Phoenix is a little bit bigger, but their masks are pretty similar.
Exactly the fucking same. Like, if you're gonna have masked people, at least have them be different. Otherwise, they all look the fucking same. And if they all look the fucking same, then who the gives a shit?
Well, I did like Rey Mysterio's. So last week I didn't get to see his entrance, so I saw it this time. I liked it. He seems like a good presentation.
It's just like Penta's.
Well, it's a little bit different.
Not much.
It's actually a lot different.
Okay. I think it's exactly the same.
No,
He even has he comes out,
on.
he does his little hand thing, just like Penta. He's got the little spinning thing, just like Penta. He's got the lights, just like Penta. He's got the music, just like Penta. I think it's the same music.
It might be, but it's different. So he comes out, and it's like a shot from underneath up, and you got the darkness with the little glow, and he's like doing this, and he's got the hood down. I don't know. It's a very different presentation.
I think it's exactly the same.
Okay.
We'll have to watch it offline because we'll get copyright.
Yeah.
So DIY stole the tag belts during the Machine Guns Street Profits match, and then a TLC match gets set up for next week, and the crowd booed.
Yeah. I think they booed the fact that it was next week.
Yeah. Which is interesting. Like, who the fuck wants to see this shit? Like, oh, it should be at WrestleMania. No, it shouldn't. It shouldn't happen at all.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people were saying. Oh, this should have been the tag team match and not the New Day Viking Raiders. That's why I didn't get it. Anyway, we'll get to that.
Yeah. Girls said some shit to all this backstage. I didn't listen. Randy Orton. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
All right. Randy Orton came out. He just threw out open challenge for WrestleMania. It's like, fuck me.
I'm starting
to probably is Aleister Black now.
Well, they teased Black for next week on SmackDown.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Never mind.
I'm thinking it's going to be Carmelo Hayes for some reason.
Okay, sure. Why not?
Like, who do you throw out there? Because whoever it is, obviously, I don't think they're going to win. So you want to throw out. You can't be debuting Aleister Black for him to just lose. So it only makes sense that it's someone. Yeah.
What I don't understand is why did Solo start some shit last week and didn't follow up with it?
I don't know. You should be happy. But it still could be Solo.
It could be, but fuck me. It needs to be Aldis. They have this fucking golden opportunity to have two really good wrestlers have a fucking outstanding match. And for some reason, they're just not pulling the trigger, and it just bugs me.
Yeah, I think he even mentioned he has a GM contract and he has a wrestler contract. But I don't know why he hasn't wrestled yet.
Because he doesn't need to.
Does he want to, though?
I'm sure he's a wrestler.
Well, if I learned anything from Ric Flair, you're going to have to you have to scrape him off the mat unless there's an injury that they can't wrestle with.
Aldis is I don't know, he's an old school guy though. He's got to do what's best for business. He's got to do what's best for him and what's best for business. And right now that's being a GM. But they have this golden opportunity to have him put on the boots again. They just need to fucking do it. This fucking open challenge bullshit is stupid.
Well, it could still be him.
It could, but they could have built up something good.
They could have. But I will say, through all this, don't get too excited, though. Like, I know they even said, let the speculation begin. But don't get your hopes up. It might be Omos.
Oh, God. Yeah, I mean, it's not going to be, the payoff is not going to be worth the anticipation.
Yeah, it never is.
Nope. Well, Priest had an interview. He said the world's not ready for the violence that he and McIntyre are going to display. He says Priest is going to make sure McIntyre is future endeavored again. And then they also brawled at some fan event. And then there was a girls' match.
It was the kickoff show, but it didn't matter.
No, whatever. So we had LA Knight versus Solo Sikoa. And Knight cut a promo on Fatu before the match. Said Fatu will be champion one day, but won't be at WrestleMania. And then Fatu ended up attacking LA Knight during the match. Strowman came out to help, and a tag match got set up. And Fatu was sent over the announce desk. Solo was pinned. Who saw that coming?
Yes. Also, funny note about that. He initially tried to send Fatu over the announce table, and he just landed on top of it, and then he went back and pushed him. So no, you got to get over. So
oh, the old Fatu special.
Yeah.
Tiffany Stratton had an interview. I'm sure she had equally horrible things to say about Charlotte Flair. And then the Mysterios beat Gable and the Embry brothers.
So about those interviews, Charlotte Flair, Tiffany Stratton, they were both. Well, never mind. It doesn't matter.
Okay. And Cody Rhodes came out, and Cena came out before Cody could talk. Tells Cody Sunday's his last WrestleMania, and Cody can't do anything to a man who knows he's going to die, which is a great line. He talked shit about Cody in the crowd. Said when Cody turned The Rock down, Cena knew he could beat him. Cody says Cena can't wrestle. Cena tries to FU Cody. Cody escapes and drops Cena again. I swear to God, if Cody wins.
Well, there's going to be it's going to be interesting.
There's kind of a double. It's kind of a dual crowd.
Yes, they were booing Cody when he came out, and then when he started trying to go back at John Cena, they were booing him. And then he turned him with his part of the promo, he turned him back. And even Cena was like, "This is what you're fighting for." Cuz the whole thing was Cena told Cody that he's going to have to turn to the dark side if he wants to win. It's like, you're going to have to betray the fans. And then at this moment, they're booing Cody. He's like, see, this is what you're fighting for?
Yeah.
So, it's going to be interesting to see if the crowd actually boos Cody and cheers Cena. And then
it's the same shit. It's been the same shit. Cody got dropped. Cody took it on the chin. He's smiling. He's slapping hands. Woeing. He's dropped Cena twice. Cena's had fantastic promos. That's the only good thing. Because he's a dick. And I enjoy Dick Cena. It's like watching that Total Divas without the divas.
I never watched it. To be honest with you there.
I just know that Cena was a dick.
from the clips I've seen, he just, he demanded excellence. That's all.
No, there's a clip I saw where he's playing beer pong and he's taking it super competitive and he gets he gets fucked up. He's like, I'm just trying to have a good time. That's when he tells what's her head that she needs to have 2 hampers, one for gym clothes and one for other clothes. Which makes sense, but he's just a dick about it.
Yeah. But yeah, he was demanded excellence. He wanted good from her. He was going to bring the best out of her yet.
Right.
I also saw a clip about him like scolding her for trying to cook. Like, what do you mean you're cooking? What are you talking about? So
Good for him.
that people were painting that in a bad light.
Like he didn't want her to cook?
Yeah. But it wasn't like, a chivalrous, no, you sit down, I'll cook. It's like, you suck at cooking. Why are you trying to cook?
At least he's honest.
Like, we order food. That's our thing. Don't cook.
Wow. Well, SmackDown go home shows were, I don't know, they lived up to their nothingness. You might as well just, I don't know, just stop doing go home shows. Just take the week off.
Well, they get their final we're going to win things in.
I've been seeing around the horn that everybody's saying that their the WrestleMania kind of peaked. The builds.
What do you mean?
Like the Cena getting dropped happened too soon. Of course, Cody's not even pretending that this is a big matchup. And then there's something else. I don't know. Forget I said it.
Oh. All right. Well, speaking of WrestleMania, we might as well hop on into it. Night un of WrestleMania.
In Las Vegas, Nevada.
Yeah, we're in Las Vegas. Now, I got to tell you a story about the opening of WrestleMania because I want to become clean with the viewers we have. By the way, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. So I'm in the room. I'm actually playing video games at this very moment.
Anything good?
And no, I was play testing a game. It's called Destroy All Humans, which turns out to I don't know. I don't know what it was about that game, but I could not shoot I didn't understand what was going on. I just kept dying. Like I was supposed to be doing something and the little fucking army keeps like shooting me and they're shooting me all over the place and they keep spawning. I was getting cooked. But yeah. So I'm playing the game. The roommate walks in and she's like, oh my god, they put Jey Uso and Gunther on the pre-show. I'm like, no, they're on the main card, and that was that. And I was like, they're on the main card, and she's like, but they're wrestling right now. And I said, it's probably. Are you sure it's not like a review? Because the show didn't start for another 30 minutes. Well, it turns out this was actually the show, so it had already started. And here I am playing Destroy All Humans. So I missed the beginning of the show.
Well, the walkers were Roman, Rollins, Punk, and then Punk was with Heyman. And Charlotte walked, then Stratton, and then we had Gunther and then Jay. And Triple H opened to suck his own dick. Basically said, welcome to WrestleMania. And yeah, we had Jey Uso versus Gunther.
Who sung the America the Beautiful? Doesn't matter.
I don't think they had it. I don't remember it being played.
There you go.
It was probably on the pre-show.
Fair enough. So yeah, we opened the show with Jey Uso versus Gunther. Didn't see either entrance, and I only saw the tail end of the match. But what I did see was Gunther. He hits a powerbomb on Jey Uso that gets kicked out of. Not to be outdone, because Gunther did kick out of a spear and a Uso splash. And towards the end of the match, for some reason, Uso's getting fired up. Gunther is chopping him, and Uso is laughing at the chops. And he's telling Gunther to bring it on. Just keep hitting me. So we're at a point where Gunther is holding Jey Uso by the wrist, and they're trading chops at each other. Jey Uso's no-selling the chops.
Remember when those used to be the most devastating move in all of WWE?
Yes. And Jey Uso's just eating them. And, yeah. And I don't know why that happened, but it gets worse. So finally, Gunther, he goes for another powerbomb. Jey Uso reverses it. He hits a spear. This is towards the end of the match now. He goes to the top rope. He hits a Uso splash. He goes to the other top rope. Hits a second Uso splash. He goes to the other top rope. Hits a third Uso splash. Yes. He hits a third Uso splash, this time to the back of Gunther. Gunther stumbles to his feet, goes over to the, he stumbles over to the ropes. He goes to his feet. So we don't get a fourth splash. But instead of a fourth splash, he locks Gunther in a sleeper hold. Falls to his back, locks his legs. Gunther, nowhere to go. There's one thing that the Ring General can do, and that's to look up at Jey Uso and say, Jey, you're too much of a man for me. And taps out to Jey Uso from a sleeper hold. So, yes. Questionable ending. The fact that Jey Uso tapped out Gunther. Jey Uso, who's not a submission specialist, by the way.
At all.
Yes. Taps out Gunther and becomes the new World Heavyweight Champion. And we go and start our eating.
Well, I'm glad I followed my instincts on this one. Because I surely would have had an aneurysm.
Yeah, I said, oh boy. The fact that he lost and he tapped out. And it's probably bigger, the fact that he tapped out. Because I don't think I've ever seen Gunther actually tap out. I mean, he hasn't, especially on the main roster, he's only lost 4 times, none of them by submission.
Right.
And NXT UK, I think he got pinned by Dragunov. Braun Breaker would have pinned him. Well, I guess there is a possibility that Breaker would have submitted him, but yeah, I think he pinned Gunther. So yes, this is Gunther's first time on WWE television getting tapped out.
To Jey Uso.
By Jey Uso, the submission specialist that he is.
And now we're gonna have to pretend that he's a badass, just like when Becky Lynch beat Baszler after beating Ronda Rousey.
Yes.
Can't do it.
Now, yeah, where do we go from here with Jey Uso? Where do we go? More importantly, where do we go from here with Gunther? They're gonna have to rebuild Gunther's image because he did tap out. Can I say tap out anymore? But yeah, he like that's the most. Yeah, that was the weirdest way to finish the match. Is a tap out, but that's the way. Like pass out, I don't know. There's not a lot of people that tap out, as a matter of fact, nowadays. It's all these pass out things. But yeah.
I don't know, man. I remember he had the best match at WrestleMania last year, and now he's being tapped out like a bitch to fucking Jey Uso, who I've never even seen him do a submission hold.
Yeah, it's not deep in his. He had to go deep in the playbook, I guess.
No, he didn't. He stole from Gunther.
Yeah, and I'm sure
there's no story to that. Like, it's not like Gunther's been choking him out every week. He choked him out like once.
Well, what they tried to play up was, it was the exact way he was holding Jimmy Uso when he bloodied Jimmy Uso and had him. Yeah. But yes, we have a new world champion. His name is Jey Uso. We yeeted so hard that it was going to affect the next match. And boy, did it. And Jimmy Uso came out and celebrated at the end, too.
Now we get to see if that belt can get any more worthless.
Well, I see a lot of people talk about, like, Jey Uso, he's going to need to, I don't know, put on good matches. Like,
okay.
That'll turn people. I don't think it has anything to do with matches.
Wish in one hand and shit in the other for that one.
Well, yeah, I don't think it's going to be about matches. I think it's going to be about story. Like, you tell good stories. Yeah, I know the bell's going to ring at some point, but if you're putting him in, memorable stories, I think that will be best for him. So, like, Kevin Owens, the tag team, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus the Usos. I don't remember the match. I remember the story. And I'm not saying you're going to be able to tell that kind of story every build or any story, really. We're thinking about it.
You can at least try.
Yeah, but just put them in some compelling stories, and I think that'll turn people.
It doesn't even have to be the best story in the world. I just want some effort. Just stop throwing spaghetti at the wall and just hoping people are interested.
Yeah, and we definitely can't be just, just a yeet storyline. Oh, he's yeeting. We're yeeting every week. Like, it's got to be more than that.
Well,
so
I'm not expecting anything. More importantly, Gunther just needs to be rebuilt.
Yeah, I think I would say he's probably would do better to move to SmackDown, but on the same hand, I don't think. But I mean, if he goes to SmackDown, now we got like Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes over there.
I just want to see him go Old Testament.
Yeah, just come out beating the shit out of people.
Yep.
That'd be good for him.
I don't want to hear him talking about anything. I just wanted to see him just chopping people, powerbombing people, and walking away.
Yeah, just build him as a killer. Yeah. But and I'm not one of the people that's like, oh, he's got to have a title. Like, you can be at the top of the card without having a title. So it doesn't necessarily, because on Raw he would only have the Intercontinental title or the World title. You move to SmackDown. I mean, I just don't. Yeah, he could compete with Cody, but maybe SmackDown is the move because it'll give him fresh feuds. I think he can be at the top of the card.
Absolutely. He should be at least, if not one, number 2 heel right now. It should be like a fucking barbarian. They can't be conquered until someone finally conquers him. And they should build that up. Instead, he's just been this fucking bitch about his legacy. He hasn't been threatening at all. And Jey Uso, like I said last week, the Jey Uso said he's not afraid of him. When does he show that he was scared of him in the first place?
Well, that was that 1 week.
Okay. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just let's move on.
Well, as you remember, I just told you we were doing the yeet for a good amount of time, as Jey Uso just won the title. So, after a good yeet session, you're probably tired.
Yeah.
And whatever the next match was, was probably going to suffer from that. Next match up, it is the New Day tag team match versus the War Raiders. It's for the tag team titles on Raw. New Day, they come out. Absolutely no reaction. Now, I thought maybe it's because they're outside and it's just, the outside drowning out the noise. But yeah, the New Day, but I was proven wrong later in the night because you definitely heard the crowd later. So in review, it might just have to be that people don't care about the New Day. And that's not their fault. That's just a booking thing because, they had the turn on Big E and then.
They didn't do anything with it.
Yes.
As per usual.
Yeah, no follow through.
And then they got slapped together with the Viking bikers in this haphazard match that they said was going to be a war. It wasn't a war. It was a glorified Raw match. And Wood's hair looks stupid.
Fair enough. Also, the War Raiders, they came out in cosplay. They were dressed as some, I don't know, Clash of Clans because WWE has some kind of partnership or something with Clash of Clans. So they came out dressed like characters from Clash of Clans. And
it's a good way to get them over.
Yeah. And like you said, this was basically a glorified Raw match. And New Day wins the titles. Did Big E come out? Absolutely not. Did they cheat? Maybe a little bit. Like they hit the I forgot the name of the move. They hit the double stomps where Kofi holds him on the knee. You do the double stomp, and then Kofi held whoever's leg down for the victory.
Yeah,
as Xavier Woods got the pin.
I'd say that's good tag team wrestling. I wouldn't really say that's cheating.
Well, that's how they're gonna.
Well, sure.
It. So yeah, New Day, new champions, and the crowd goes silent.
Well, who was supposed to care about it?
I don't know. But it does prove more again that we were spot on when we said this WrestleMania build has been lackluster. We were the first ones to say it. And then I think the crowd reactions told you like they didn't care. I mean, no, they don't care about the War Raiders at all. And not
no, they haven't even been on. Have they been on TV?
They've been on TV a couple times, but they have no. They don't really have a character. Like I said, back when they were the Viking Raiders and they cosplay as Vikings, at least they had a character. They had the deer out there with them. At least that was something. This is just like they're bikers now.
Where is the deer?
She is either pregnant or had a baby.
Oh.
I think she's pregnant again too. That dude's been beating it up.
And WWE's just handing her money. You just stay home.
Well, Ivar's been beating it up.
Oh, really?
It's either Eric or Ivar, one of them.
Oh, I guess either way.
Yeah, I mix it up, but one of them is the husband, and he's been putting it down, so she stays pregnant. Come here, woman. I guess he really is living that Viking lifestyle because you know what the Vikings used to do. They took what they wanted.
That's crazy. Man, no recovery time there either.
Who needs that? So yeah, crowd dead for that match. And we move on to our next match. As the crowd's still dead silent. This match, Jade Cargill versus Naomi. This is a regular one-on-one match. As the story goes, Naomi was the one that attacked Jade Cargill, and this was what led to their match. She came back, and that's what set up the match. Uh, Naomi has new music. I, I don't know about it. I'm gonna need to hear it a couple more times. It's like a rock type music. So yeah, I need to hear it a couple more times before I make judgment on it. She seemed to be rocking out to it.
Of course.
And then Jade Cargill, she gets her entrance next. Jade Cargill, there was a news anchor weatherman, and he says he's on the screen. He's like, "Oh, we're here outside of WrestleMania, and it's clear skies." All of a sudden, we have some CGI'd rain starting, and then hail starting, and there's like newspapers. This is all CGI, by the way. Newspapers starting to fly in, and then he says a storm is coming, and then we go back into the arena, and it is Jade Cargill. She is the storm, of course. She has her entrance. I guess that was her special entrance. It was okay. It was a little cheesy, especially because it was CGI.
I couldn't get past the fact that she had to awkwardly take off that jacket thing before doing her arm pose. And it seemed like she mistimed it.
Well, fair enough there. So we get into the match. I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't that bad of a match. Jade Cargill. At times, she can have bad matches or something to that nature.
She's had
But
bad matches.
yeah, but this is actually pretty good from Jade Cargill and Naomi. Maybe it's more so Naomi being a good dance partner, but yeah, they had a good match. I like that Jade's moves look impactful. Like when she does that pump kick, it looks impactful.
They should. She's built as a brick. She's built big.
Yeah.
Ricky Pig there.
There was a moment where she did like a power bomb. She muscle. I think. I'm just trying to think real quick. Oh yeah, so Naomi, she has Jade in a Rings of Saturn. Jade Cargill powers out of it, puts her up in a fireman's carry, turns that into a power bomb. So that looked great. Into Jaded, 1, 2, 3. Jade Cargill wins. A lot of people may have thought that wasn't the right outcome. I don't remember what I picked, but I said this. I knew if the feud had to continue,
you said Jade was going to beat Naomi.
Oh, well, there you go. So I picked it right. But it seems like if they're going to have more of a feud, what now? Because you've already lost. Does that make sense? Like,
yeah,
you lost clean. There was no cheating, nothing. You lost clean.
She already got her payoff.
Yeah, so maybe they move on, maybe they don't. I don't know, but Jade Cargill gets the victory there.
Yeah, well, I guess they could do the thing where Jade tries to move on, but Naomi pushes the issue again. Or Naomi just moves on to Belair, depending on what happens with that triple threat match.
Yeah. And like I said, I think Naomi is going to cost Bianca in some way. But now I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to be accurate on that. We move on to our next match, and I think the start of WrestleMania. That that being Jacob Fatu versus LA Knight. Yeah. This for the United States Championship. And the crowd, yeah, this sounded like the first time the crowd, outside of, the 10
opener.
minutes of Eat, yeah. Sounds like the crowd actually getting into it at this point. Goes back to the whole feuds. So the feuds were lackluster, so the crowd wasn't really into the matches. Although I thought Jade and Naomi, I thought they would have gotten more of a reaction than they did. I mean, when I'm on Twitter and I'm hearing all this, black excellence and black wrestling, and then crickets. Like I don't know. I thought this was going to be a DEI cheer.
I don't know. I don't know about that, but I remember as I was perusing past it, not being very impressed until the very end, like that powerbomb thing, and then Jade got into her finishing move. I thought that was cool, but there was nothing really like there was no wow factor from what I saw. It just seemed like they had a match.
Yeah. But yeah, so now we get to Jacob Fatu and LA Knight. So the entrances, Jacob Fatu, he comes out with Solo. He's wearing a wolf's mask. Solo and him dap up, and then Solo goes to the back. We never see him again. LA Knight, he...
Don't forget, they're angry at each other.
Are they, though?
They were like... there was no resolution to Fatu being pissed off. And then Solo was pissed off at him. I mean... they're supposed to be mad at each other. That's what they were building to for weeks.
Yeah, but on SmackDown, we had Fatu, he said, during the tag team match, he said, "I love you," and then pointed at Solo. He didn't say Solo, but he pointed at Solo. So
Okay.
It seems like they may be back on the same page.
Fair enough. Forget I said it.
But yeah, so they dap up. He goes to the ring by himself. Solo's never seen from again. LA Knight, he comes out in a car, a muscle car that he's not even driving, by the way. Someone else is
I thought
driving.
that was kind of a bitch move.
Yeah. So yeah, he drives up and
Like, how do you get out of a car like a badass when somebody else drives you?
I don't know. It was a little weird. Especially, I think he's done a muscle car entrance before and he was driving. He did do one. So, I don't know why. Maybe it's because he was on stage. I don't know. But he gets out passenger side and we've now, for the first time of the night, we see the loud and live meter. And it turns into the revving meter because I guess now they're just judging based off of the car. So we get the meter, it goes up to 70, goes up to 80, and then it hits max, indicating the max volume had been reached. By the way, Otis still has the biggest pop on that thing. So
when's the last time they used that?
It's a couple pay-per-views ago. So what I'm gathering is the crowds haven't been loud enough to use.
I mean, that's the only thing you can surmise from that.
Yeah, but I don't think I saw it during the international crowd either.
Yeah. So that means the European crowd wasn't loud enough either.
Well, they were loud.
They were loud, but WWE demonstrated they weren't loud enough.
Yeah, they didn't put the loud live meter out, but they did here. So, it maxed out at 100, and that was the thing there. So we get to the match, and again, this is the crowd is now waking up. So, and I thought they put on a pretty good match. I would say maybe Jacob Fatu got there's a little too much offense on him, but LA Knight is no snub scrub.
He's also the champion.
Yeah, so you can balance it out there. There was an awesome spot where Jacob Fatu, he was going for his moonsaults, his mighty moonsault as they call it, and it was countered into a BFT.
That was awesome.
And he managed to kick out of that.
No, he got his hand on the rope.
Yeah, he got his hand on the rope. And then we get Jacob Fatu. He gets not one, but two best mighty moonsaults. And that is enough to hold LA Knight down for the 1, 2, 3. And you have a new United States champion in Jacob Fatu. And he beat him clean, too.
My favorite part was when early in the match when LA Knight went for the first BFT and Fatu countered it by just planking. And he stared at Knight. Knight's like, what the fuck? Yeah, and then he hit the Samoan drop from the top rope, and I guess everybody needs to hit multiple finishers now. Thank you, Cody Rhodes.
Yeah. But this is also, one would have probably done it, but I don't know. It was just to solidify, take all questions out of it. But, Jacob Fatu wins. Post-match, we have Haku come out there and congratulate him. And there's really no twists, no turns. There's a straight-up victory.
There was absolutely no shenanigans. And I was expecting a ton of shenanigans.
Yeah, I at least expected maybe a solo interference or something. Because like you said, they were building to something. Now, maybe they just maybe this is part of the story, but
no, they just Wyatt sucked it and just dropped it.
Well, that was different. Someone got hurt.
Okay.
I hope. That's the story, at least.
They took out the entire locker room. It wasn't addressed.
Oh, that part of it. Well, they had Whataburger afterwards on social media. After mass murder. We move on to our next match, which should be... yes. So earlier in the night, we got information that Rey Mysterio was not going to be able to make WrestleMania. That happened on SmackDown. He got hurt at some point. I think it was during the 6-man tag. I don't know.
Yeah, it was during the 6-man tag. He had to be carried away or helped away to the back.
So it was noted on the pre-show that Rey Mysterio was out, and he named a replacement for his match. Now, Rey Mysterio has the whole LWO. Did he pick Dragon Lee? Did he pick Joaquin Wilde? Did he pick the other one? Cruz del Toro? No. He picked Rey Fenix. Basically, he's doing to the LWO what he did to Santos. Remember that story where...
And Carlito.
He's just basically jumping to the new toy.
Pretty much.
So
maybe Ray and the LWO are the evil Mexicans. And I need to find a new nickname for Escobar's group.
I think it's more Ray himself. Like, why do you keep turning your back on your people who are supporting you? But yes, no one from the group. He picks Ray Phoenix. So we have Ray Phoenix versus El Grande Americano. And Ray Phoenix, he doesn't have anything special entrance wise. He basically, because he just found out that morning that he was going to be in the match.
He had a hoodie. What more do you want?
Well, let's talk about Chad Gable. I'm sorry. Let's talk about El Grande Americano's entrance. Sorry, that's not Chad Gable. So El Grande, he has a mariachi band play him to the ring, and they're all wearing the Grande Americana lucha mask. And we get Alicia Taylor. I need to point this out. She announces from the Gulf of America,
Woo!
Grande Americano. And why do I need to mention that? It's because they said there was news that WWE has changed. They went back on the Gulf of America thing, and he is now from the Gulf of Mexico. And they tried to explain it on commentary. What they said on commentary is that he's from the Gulf of Mexico, but well, yes, because when that's where he was from. It was the Gulf of Mexico when he was born or whatever. So
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It was the Gulf of Mexico, and then they changed it.
Yeah. So when he was born, it was the Gulf of Mexico. That's why he's from the Gulf of Mexico. But she didn't get the memo, and she still said Gulf of America. So I'm sure there's going to be some backlash on that at some point. As he comes out to the ring, he circles around the ring, and there's a guy in the stands, and they have a little exchange before the match starts. That guy was Vikingo, prominently part of AAA, which we will get into later on why that exchange happened. But it's noted that Vikingo was a big AEW guy.
I thought he was signed to AEW.
I thought he was too, actually. But nope, he was just
Apparently not.
Yeah.
That's what I get for thinking.
He is prominently there on WWE TV as of today, and he kicks Grande Americano before the match starts, probably teasing something there, which we'll talk about more later on that too. But we got Grande Americano versus Ray Phoenix. I guess you can expect that it was going to be a good match, and it ended up delivering on being a good match. There was a big moment where Grande hits a 540 splash. So he does like a moonsault, but then he keeps the rotation going and does a backsplash. Popped the crowd pretty good. And he loads his mask up because Ray Phoenix distracts the ref. He puts the silver plate in his mask. Ray Phoenix goes back on offense. He goes to do his walk the rope kick thing, kicks him right in the head, but there's the steel plate in there. So now he's selling the steel plate, and we get a headbutt from Grande, and then he goes to the top rope and does the diving headbutt. Not that he needed to. And he takes home the victory. So Grande Americano's first victory at WrestleMania. And Chad Gable still has never wrestled at WrestleMania. or a singles match at least.
I wonder if that's exactly what would have happened to Rey Mysterio if he didn't get hurt. Like, I wonder if
I
they
think
would have
so.
kept on the metal plate gimmick.
I think so. He's getting that. I think that's like a part of his thing,
Well,
and he's
naturally.
getting it over. Yeah,
He's like Lex Luger and Mr. America all rolled into one.
yeah, yeah. And I always like the gimmick, like the foreign object gimmick. It's so like old school.
Mm-hmm.
It's so simple. Like, yeah, Lex Luger with the plate, the metal forearm, Bob Orton with the cast. Like, these
Yeah,
are
I
just
especially like the fake ones. Like, again, Lex Luger, or like when they have the fake knuckles.
William Regal with the knuckles.
Yeah. Or
Uh,
sometimes they don't even have anything and they pretend and they put it back in their pants before you can see anything.
yeah, WCW does tape a lot, just like tape.
Yeah.
Like, oh, he has tape in his hand.
I was just thinking the other day, like, where the fuck would you get a slapjack?
I was about to say the slapjack, of course.
You just go to Walmart, get a slapjack in the 90s?
I guess so. And he kept it in his trunks too. Wouldn't that thing like hurt as you're moving around?
I don't know about that.
Well, I don't know. Like when I have stuff in my trunks, just for I don't know why I'm putting stuff in there, but I do sometimes. It doesn't feel too good. But yes, we have Chad Gable. He takes sorry. Grande Americano takes home the victory. And then we get to our second to last match of the night. Now, when this match was going on, I'm like, oh man, like, yeah, they started early, but it's almost the end of the night and it's like still daylight outside.
The matches were really quick.
They did seem quick, but I guess they were trying to save it for the main event.
That's true.
So we have Charlotte Flair taking on the champion, Tiffany Stratton. Now, Charlotte Flair won the Royal Rumble, which gave her the right to choose an opponent, and she chose Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany Stratton, her entrance was a Barbie box, I guess you can say. Obviously, I don't know too much about Barbies, but yes, it was a custom Barbie box. So she was in the box, and then you had on the left side and on the right side like different CGI versions of her, and she comes out of the box. That's about it. All I can say about it, really. she was a real life Barbie.
It's not very
And
creative.
well, apparently she is an entrance she had in her mind for a while because
Okay.
she fancies herself a buff Barbie
Well, live your
and she
dream,
wanted
I
to
guess.
portray. Yeah, Charlotte Flair. She comes out in a Rolls Royce. I didn't see which side she got out on, but I'm going to assume she was passenger as well. And that was Charlotte Flair's special entrance.
I hope she drove.
Yeah, I missed what side she got out on, but then we get to the match. I actually thought it was a pretty entertaining match. People, there's a lot of people online saying this was a sloppy match. I guess if you're talking about like graps wise, it was probably sloppy. Uh, but I thought it was entertaining. I thought it kind of was it sloppy at times, yes, but I thought it kind of matched the tone of what they were going for through this whole feud. Was like, you know, so this is like a real feud or something. I don't know.
It's a shoot.
Yeah, it's a shoot. The match was a shoot, so and the promos were a shoot, so they're trying to match that energy.
Okay.
Maybe, uh, definitely a hard hitting match. At some point, Tiffany Stratton had like a not a gash on her head, but a big bump on her head. And after the match, she was smiling, celebrating her victory. By the way, it's Tiffany Stratton won. I told you that was going to happen, by the way. I told everybody. I think Charlotte Flair's clickbaiting. They're just using her name to get Tiffany Stratton over. Uh, Tiffany Stratton had a chipped tooth, maybe even. I couldn't tell if it was just chipped or knocked all the way out, but
Goddamn.
yeah. You could tell she was in a fight.
What'd Charlotte look
And
like? Well, I guess you can't tell because her face is already fucked up.
yes. Don't worry, she'll get it. She'll get it fixed. I'm sure Tiffany will get her shit fixed too.
Oh, sure. Remember when AJ Styles debuted and he knocked out Miz's teeth?
Oh yeah,
He had that
yeah,
shit fixed like the next week.
yeah.
He was wrestling the next week.
Yeah, you get your little emergency dentist or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, she'll be back right by SmackDown, but at least for tonight, she had to go around smiling her victory with
Or
a
she could
chip
be like,
tooth.
Punk, I don't think I could, I don't want to fix it because this is a scar I earned. She adopts a southern accent for some reason.
I don't think so. Mainly, I think I don't know. Ludwig Kaiser seems like he's really into her. So I was gonna say maybe Ludwig is like, you know, as they're leaving the arena, they're driving right to the dentist. Like, come on now, I'm not with you for your, not with you for your brain.
Probably wouldn't even say anything. He just takes her straight to the dentist.
Yeah,
Where are we going? Doesn't say anything. Just pulls up to the.
I'll pick you up when you're done.
Just waits wordlessly by the entrance thing.
Yeah, so she knows what she has to do. But yeah, she definitely went through a fight.
Oh,
So again, that probably speaks to what people were saying. It was a sloppy match. It wasn't as choreographed as a Will Ospreay match, obviously, but
yeah, some slop is good. When they're fucking up the choreography, that's when the sloppy is bad.
yeah. I mean, there was maybe one or two moments where it was just out of sync altogether, but
Yeah.
I don't know. The bigger story was told here. Like Tiffany, she was in a fight. Charlotte, there was a point where Tiffany was just going at Charlotte's knee, because she just came back from knee surgery or torn ACL, MCL. So Stratton is just going at her knee. So okay, it's done. Yeah, so it was good. There was a horn going off, and then I was waiting on it to finish. But overall, good match, and Tiffany Stratton retains, and I think it does. I think it does great for her going forward. She seems to be more legitimized now. Where she goes next, I don't know. Probably Charlotte Flair again. Like we're not out of the woods yet. I think Charlotte's going to win at some point.
Did
Maybe
they
they have a
hug
little
and
back and forth.
kiss after the match?
No,
Oh, good deal.
they didn't.
I hate when
And
they do that.
remember now, Stratton was beat the hell up. So I mean, she'd be kissing anybody. I wonder if she knew.
Knew what?
that her tooth was chipped.
Oh yeah,
I'm sure you can feel it with your tongue.
Yeah, there's no way.
And also kudos to her. I don't know when it got chipped, but she finished the match. I would have been like, nope, we're done. I'm hideous, look away. That would have been me. But yeah, she finished and she did the post interview afterwards too, with that chipped tooth. But then we go to our main event of the evening, night one. This being Seth Rollins, CM Punk, and Roman Reigns. What are they fighting for, you might ask? Well, the future of the business, as Seth Rollins wanted to point out. Our special entrances. Seth Rollins, he comes out and he's wearing all black. Oh, pause if needed. He's wearing all black and he has a flamethrower. Wade Barrett said this is the coolest entrance he's ever seen. I guess he didn't see The Rock's flamethrower thing, but that's here nor there. And also that there were some people trying to make that a reference to The Rock, because The Rock came out that one year and did it, and now Seth Rollins did it. The screen goes black after he shoots off the flamethrower. Screen goes black, and now he's dressed in all white with like thorn glasses, and comes. I took it as, was he being like the Messiah now? But I guess it was just a reference to it also being Easter.
So Messiah.
Yeah. So that was the special entrance from Seth Rollins. I didn't see. Let me be honest. I didn't see Roman Reigns entrance.
I think he just came out.
Okay. So nothing special?
Not that I remember, no.
All right. And then we had CM Punk. He had a video package play before the match. I missed part of the video package, but I know This Fire Burns, his original theme, played during the video package. And then he also had Living Color play Cult of Personality live. So that was his special entrance.
He also came out with Heyman.
Yes, and he came out with the wise man, Paul Heyman. So he got a lot of special things. Seth Rollins did something special. Roman Reigns just walked out. And honestly, that's probably all he needs.
Pretty much. Rollins had a good reaction when his music hit.
What was that?
Like the Undertaker gong. Like, you know, they kind of just stiffen up and like, oh shit, it got real.
Yeah. Well, good for him. This match, it was fast-paced. It was pretty evenly contested, I would say.
Yeah.
Like, everybody got pretty much equal offense. There was a lot of false finishes, as there would.
Yeah.
Yeah, as you would expect in a triple threat match. I mean, Roman he kicked out of a stomp, a pedigree. No, he didn't kick out of the pedigree.
He got pedigreed. Then he got curb stomped. He kicked out of that. Then he got GTS'd. He kicked out of that.
Yeah.
He was Anaconda Vice twice.
Yes. None of those could finish off the Tribal Chief.
Although Punk got speared 100 times.
Yes, and none of those could finish. And then the stomps.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me get a drink.
There's just a lot of disrespecting of finishing maneuvers in this match.
Yeah, a lot of the clean kickouts is what you always. Those are always the ones you want to watch out for. The clean kickouts. Uh, so towards the end of the match, we get a spot where Rollins and Roman, they tease that they're going to team up. They tease that they're going to do the Shield powerbomb on CM Punk through the table, and Rollins sets up for the Shield powerbomb. Roman Reigns, he clotheslines Seth Rollins, so he no Shield powerbomb for him.
I
But
think you're
then
underselling this just a little bit because
okay,
they have Punk is he's writhing in pain by the announce desk, and Rollins sees it, and he goes over to Roman, who's also fallen. He goes, "The only way that we can secure the future of this business is by taking him out. You know I'm right. You know it. Come on." So then he goes to the ringside. And he goes, "Come on, Roman, get your ass up." And Roman, he gets ringside too, and then he gets on his knees and he's holding his head and he's having all these emotions, and they're even playing it on commentary, like, what's going on in Roman's head? And then finally Roman just stands up and he goes, "Get him up!" So then he gets him up for the power bomb, or Rollins stands Punk up, and then Roman gets over to Rollins, and it looks like they're about to cooperate, and then he just decks Rollins and he power bombs Punk himself. And then, to add insult to injury, he picks Rollins up and he power bombs him through the other announce desk. He does shit on his own. He don't ask for favors. He takes.
he takes, and he takes, and to our surprise, the tables actually broke, both of them.
Yeah, I guess they weren't that super duper announce desk. It wasn't.
Yeah.
They weren't Netflix.
Yeah, which was surprising because they had that TV or whatever that was in front of it. But yes, he was able to put them both through a table. Now we fast forward to the climax, the end of the match here. Roman Reigns, CM Punk, Seth Rollins, they're all laid out in the ring. How did we get there? So CM Punk hits Roman Reigns.
Oh, jeez.
No, he hits CM Punk. He hits Seth Rollins with a. I'm not going to get it right.
So Punk goes to GTS Roman. Rollins stops Punk, so Roman gives him another Roman gives him another GTS because he just GTS'd him before, and he kicked out. Then Roman hits Punk with his third or fourth spear. I can't remember. Then Rollins, who was just hit with a fucking GTS, hits Roman with a curb stomp, and they collapse in a heap. Then Heyman decides, I'm just going to grab a chair. So he grabs a chair, walks over to the ring. Roman and Punk, they're just staring at Heyman on the mat. They're pleading with Heyman, "Come on, give me the chair, give me the chair." Heyman hands the chair to Punk. Roman's devastated. And then Heyman gets in the ring for some reason, and he starts instructing to Punk to take Roman out. So Punk goes to take Roman out, lifts up the chair. Heyman gets on his knees, nails Punk right in the balls. And Heyman and Roman, they start having a good laugh over it. And then Heyman gets on his knees and he delivers the chair to Roman. And I wish, which he uses to just promptly beat the shit out of Punk with it. And then Heyman goes, "Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Rollins is there." And he tells Roman to use the chair on him too. And Roman goes, take Rollins out with the chair. And then Heyman gets behind Roman, gets on his knees, and he nails Roman in the balls too. So then Heyman sits in the corner like Raven. And then Rollins nails Roman with the chair. He hits the curb stomp. 1, 2, 3. And then Heyman raises Rollins' arms after the match, and they will all walk off together. And then Roman and Punk are just left laying.
Absolutely. The wise man has chosen Seth Rollins as his new cash cow.
And he did his evil trademark ECW face.
Yes. And I guess officially Seth Rollins is now heel.
Yes, I guess.
Yeah. Now, where does this go? You may ask. I don't know. I initially said, and I still think so. It didn't really make sense. I could see it a little bit. I initially said that it wasn't really needed. Like Seth Rollins, he doesn't really need Paul Heyman, but I can now see maybe he does. Like Brock Lesnar, he didn't really need Paul Heyman, but
He
it
needed
added
Heyman.
more.
Out of all of them, he needed Heyman. Because Brock Lesnar couldn't talk for shit.
I mean, at the beginning he couldn't talk. He can talk now. Like when he stopped, I don't know. The unserious Brock, he can talk.
Okay, fair enough.
It's like,
But he's not going to cut no 20-minute promos on anybody.
yeah, I don't
And he
know.
sure
It's
as
like
shit
when
ain't going to talk. He's not going to talk as good about himself as Paul Heyman did.
Well, that's for sure. Yeah, but yeah, it's like when he went to UFC and he started cutting promos on the fans for whatever reason. He like brought that to. It's like that woke him up to. Okay, I can cut promos now.
Nah, he cut a really bad promo when he came back. Rollins beat him for the belt, and he just kept calling Rollins baby the next Raw after that. He wanted a rematch. He's like, I'm going to get you, baby. Oh, baby. It was bad.
So, yeah. So maybe it does make a little sense that he can use a Paul Heyman bump. I don't know the height of what this is. Maybe this just goes to SummerSlam. Like it's clear that this all is going to continue to something.
Mm. Maybe it's Punk Roman first, and then Roman Rollins.
Yeah, and they might even stretch it out to WrestleMania.
They could.
Yeah, because there's 3. And they gotta. Yeah, so interesting to see where it shall go. But there's your WrestleMania main event, and I don't excuse me. I don't know if it was enough to save WrestleMania because it's definitely bad at the beginning of WrestleMania. So I don't know if that was enough to save it, but it definitely saved it from being like an absolute shit show. And like I said, I think from the point of Jacob Fatu coming out, if we say WrestleMania started there, then it was good. Before that, it was like, oh man, I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to make it through this WrestleMania.
Right.
Like the tag team match and the Jade and Naomi match. Not that they were bad matches. It was just like
They were
whatever.
there.
Just yeah, they felt like a Raw or a SmackDown match.
I'll be honest, the main event kind of saved it for me, just in the simple fact that I'm interested to see where it goes. It has my intrigue. And I was actually expecting a total clusterfuck, and that didn't happen. It was just a boring WrestleMania until the main event.
That's fair.
It was cool to
Yeah,
see Jacob Fatu win, but there was nothing aside from the BFT moonsault thing. Like, there's no real wow. There's nothing that really said this was the biggest show of the year.
Yeah. Yeah, where are the WrestleMania matches? Like, I don't know. They all felt like they were kind of rushed or something.
A little bit, and which is weird because they have 2 nights.
Yeah,
And they didn't have any filler.
they didn't. Well, Shawn Michaels
He announced the
did
attendance.
the attendance, which I question that attendance because last report I saw they weren't even over. They were barely at 50,000. So how they jumped another 10,000 overnight? It's kind of amazing.
Who knows?
Yeah, last I saw they had to like reduce tickets and yeah, they reduced tickets and it was not a sellout. We get to the night and it's a sellout, and they have sold more 10,000 more tickets. I don't know.
I just think it'll be interesting to see if how much or if it fluctuates at all for tomorrow.
It's probably going to be about 70,000. Just run them up, you know, and that goes back to one of the videos we put out about. It was about Tony Khan and I forgot the exact video, but someone tried to call me out for using the numbers that the max numbers that they had released.
Oh, it was about fuck, I don't even remember. Oh, it was about the AEW week.
Yeah, someone tried to call me out. It's like 500,000 is not even a flex. Like, what? If you're gonna fudge the numbers, why are you gonna go that low? And it's similar, like that would be like WWE fudging the numbers, and it's like we got 52,000. Like, okay, well, it's not even a flex. Or maybe it is, but 500,000 wasn't a flex.
I didn't think 60,000 was that much of a flex.
It wasn't, but they're gonna use it and combine it with night 2, and they're gonna have over 100,000.
As long as it's more than Wembley.
I'm sure it will be. But that was your WrestleMania.
Yeah, like I said, I'm intrigued to see what happens with Rollins and all that shit. For the first time ever, I'm interested in Rollins.
Yeah. Interested to see where that goes.
Well, I guess we can move on to our Wrestling Rewind. And WrestleMania Overload. We are doing night 2. WrestleMania 35? So 36.
36.
36. And we are still in the Performance Center. Stephanie opens again. She lets us know that we'll be watching our wrestling in a closed set and other locations just to bring smile to our faces. Then they played the same fucking hype video as night 1, which I thought was lazy. And
I gotta
unfortunately,
be honest with you, I didn't know. It took me until this. So I watched this live when it first came out.
Okay.
And then here on our retro review, I watched it again. And I'm talking about night 1 and night 2. So it took me until now to realize that was supposed to be Jack Sparrow. So through all the watch-alongs, it took me until now to figure that out.
I do know it's horrible.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I didn't put too much stock in it at all.
Well, they apparently did because they played it twice. And unfortunately, Gronkowski didn't pass away in his sleep the night prior, and he's still the host. And that's all he says. I'm still here. And then we had a girls match for the NXT girls belt. they had Charlotte win the developmental title on WrestleMania.
They did. This was the first of the Rhea Ripley Charlotte Flair matches. And this actually showed me a lot from Rhea Ripley, the fact that she was selling that leg injury the way she was. And also point out that this was probably one of the better iterations of the artist known as Charlotte Flair, looks wise.
I'll have to go back and check.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. Of the looks, this is probably one of the better ones.
See, the thing is, I didn't think she looked that bad to begin with. And then she just decided to carve her face all to shit. And now she looks like she has LA face now.
Yeah, she's addicted to the North.
She looks like the 80-year-old woman on those Desperate Housewives shows.
Yeah, just trying to cling on to what they have.
And I think she's younger than us.
She is.
So
not by much, but
she shouldn't be acting like an 80-year-old Desperate Housewife.
That's true.
Anything else about Charlotte and the other one?
Rhea Ripley. And no, they played a video package saying how Rhea Ripley, when she got into the business, she was compared to Charlotte Flair because she had the long blonde hair look. So she changed that, and then so she cut her hair and went gothic because she didn't want to be compared to Charlotte Flair. She mutilated herself to not look like Charlotte Flair or not be compared. Looking back, probably a good move because now she's Rhea Ripley.
She didn't look that gothic.
Oh, I'm just saying now she's gothic.
I see. Okay. Well, then they did an advertisement for Big Show's sitcom, The Big Show. The series was canceled after one season, ending with a Christmas special. It premiered in April.
Season?
Pardon?
I said, oh, he got a whole season?
Oh, yeah. It premiered in April. In August, Netflix opted not to renew for a second season. I just thought that was funny. And then they spent part of night 2 recapping night 1. So your show is so big it needs night 2 or 2 nights, but you're spending some of that time to recap the first night. Then we have Aleister Black versus Bobby Lashley. This is a battle between Raw's most dominant superstars. And Lashley is pulverizing Lana with his throbbing manhood at this time. And Cole said Lana is Lashley's wife. Did they get married?
Yes.
Okay.
Remember that they cucked? Or yes.
I didn't know they actually got married.
Yeah, they did.
Okay.
And they like smeared cake all over Rusev.
Here, rub yourself with this while I plow your ex-wife. She kind of looked worn out too.
Yeah, she was in character.
Well, it starts off with Black trying to grapple with Lashley like a dumbass. Naturally, he's easily overpowered. And he ends up getting Lashley out of the ring. He goes for a moonsault off the top rope. Lashley moves out of the way, but Black lands on his feet. And Lashley just hits a belly-to-belly suplex on the floor. That fucks Black up. Lashley tosses Black back in the ring and just has his way with him. And he hits a spear in the corner, a vicious neck breaker, and then Lashley just laughs menacingly. He goes for his delayed suplex, but he gets blocked. And Lashley, then Lashley just hits a suplex anyway. And then he hits a power slam, and he goes for the spear, but Black blocks it. I thought I was going to stumble on that more. And he kicks Lashley in the face, and he hits Lashley with a flurry so intense that Lashley has to bail to the floor. Then Black hits his moonsault from the top rope. And he tosses Lashley back in the ring, then gets hit with a crossbody that totally wasn't a spear, even though it looked like one. Then Lana gets on the apron for some reason. And Lashley goes to finish Black with the Dominator, and Lana goes, "No, a spear." So Lashley drops Black like a simp and goes for a spear. And Black hits him with a Black Mass. 1, 2, 3. And then Lana has the balls after the match to look angry at Lashley. Likewise, Black walked away like he didn't just luck into a victory. He's all, "Oh yeah, I did something." No, motherfucker. You're lucky that this guy is a simp.
And yeah, it was funny. He was like, she's like, "No, spear." And he's like, "Yeah, it's a good one, babe."
God damn.
But I think, if I recall, this is, getting already close to the end for them. Because she keeps costing him matches.
Well, his dumbass keeps listening.
True. But presentation-wise, Black and I liked that music from Lashley.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The whole, both of their entrances were all, at least the theme music.
Yeah. And if Aleister Black comes back, then we need that version, that exact version, the creaky thing, the music.
Nope, it's gonna be your boy Aleister Black. He's black. He's black. He's Aleister Black.
And it's not racial.
Well, Bayley and Sasha had an interview. I skipped it.
Bayley's complaining that she has to defend her title in a 5-way gauntlet. It wasn't a gauntlet. It was just a 5-way elimination match. And they run down who's in the match, and turns out Sasha Banks in the match. And they asked her what happens when it's them two left. And Bayley's like, "Oh, I know what you're trying to do, so I'm not going to answer your stupid question." She leaves, and then the interviewer, I forgot who it was, asked Sasha Banks, what's going to happen. Oh, yeah, it was. Asked what was going to happen, or how bad does how bad does Sasha Banks want to win the title? Because it's the one title that's eluded her. It's the one title she hasn't won. And she said, "I guess you're just going to have to find out with everybody else. Don't worry, that's never going to come up."
Good deal. Well, then Gronkowski's interviewed. Yay. And he talks about his butt buddy Mojo Rawley winning the 24/7 title the night before. Gronkowski vows to win the stupid thing by the end of the night. And then for some reason, this piece of shit gets a hype video. Otis and Mandy Rose have a thing. And then one day, Otis asked Mandy out. And we cut to Otis getting ready. And he's, trying to smell all good and get his hair right. And then he gets a text saying that Mandy's going to be late. And he's like, all right. And then he's walking to the fancy restaurant that Rose is waiting for him in. And we see that bastard Dolph Ziggler is cock blocking Otis. And then we cut to some goober telling Mandy that he hurt his boy Otis for inviting Dolph on their date. Mandy's like, "Well, I just ran into Dolph at the restaurant. It's no big deal." the goober says, well, why did you text Otis that you were going to be late? And that confuses the fuck out of Mandy. And then the plot thickens. Then it cuts to Dolph Ziggler coming out just to show Otis a bunch of pictures of him. He shows a bunch of pictures of him and Mandy Rose having a good time with him. And so Dolph and Otis, I guess, fight for a week or two. And then Dolph tries to kill the goober with steel steps, and Otis comes out to save the goober. And I thought Sami Callihan butted into the feud, but it was something infinitely more dumb. A hooded figure appears on the Titantron, says the truth will set us free. And it plays a video of Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville in the back. She's talking about how much she likes Otis and yada, yada, yada. And she goes to leave for a date with Otis. And then her friend Sonya Deville is the one that tells Otis Mandy's going to be running late. And then we see Deville and Ziggler have been working together to get Ziggler to fuck Mandy Rose. Then Otis gets a match with Dolph Ziggler at WrestleMania. And not one motherfucker asked who the hooded figure was.
Well, you see, first of all, this whole storyline, obviously, for us non-wrestling people, this was actually a pretty good storyline that they played out. It was basically a Beauty and the Beast storyline, obviously. Otis was just trying to get in Mandy Rose's DMs, and Mandy Rose, being who she is like, oh, a guy like Otis could never get a girl like Mandy Rose. So that's what they're kind of playing up. And Dolph Ziggler he's much more Mandy Rose's speed, because look at him. He's chiseled out of granite.
He also fucked Sonny.
Did he?
Oh, yeah. Or,
when she was
according
good,
to Sonny.
I assume.
Pardon?
I said when not this current version of Sonny.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like when it was something to brag about.
Yeah, it was back when I think he was in the Spirit Squad, maybe.
Oh, well, good for him.
Yeah.
But the hooded figure. So that was the hacker. And yes, the hacker was a running storyline in WWE where this hacker would show up and reveal the truth. Not just in this storyline, just any storyline. They would reveal the truth, and apparently they always had footage of like the real story that was going on. So they would just expose people, basically. Unfortunately, we would never find out who the hacker was because the storyline was just dropped.
So it's like the Raw GM?
Yes.
Ah.
Now, Mustafa Ali, he said that he was supposed to be the hacker. Like after his release, he said he was the hacker.
That makes sense.
Don't know if that was true or not, but that would be racially correct if it were him.
How is that racially correct?
Because you're a hacker and you're picking out the one, like, the one brown guy in the company. It would either have to be him or, because I don't think they had any Asians in the maybe it would have been Shinsuke. But that guy was speaking good English, so it couldn't have been Shinsuke. Tozawa, could have been Tozawa. But yeah, it was something that was happening often, and it was getting built up, and it's like, oh, who's the hacker? And you had people. This is also around the time Retribution showed up too, so there's a lot of stuff going on.
Well, that completely distracted me with this match because I'm like, well, who the fuck was that hooded figure?
Yes.
I'm expecting the hooded figure to drop from the rafters or some shit. Nothing. There was no hooded figure, Tyson.
Yes. There's no hooded figure. To this day, we don't know who it was.
That bums me out.
Just dropped. But Yes, but but it was little things like that that made the difference between like a Triple H run WWE and a Vince run WWE. Like I said, maybe it fails, maybe it doesn't, but something as simple as a hacker, and it's a mystery man, and it got people talking, and then they just drop it.
It was not even that it was good. I just wanted to know who it was.
Yeah, but it's something to talk about.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, then we get Ziggler versus Otis, and Ziggler comes out with DeVille. Otis comes out just ready to fight. And Dolph hits a super kick, and Otis has to roll out of the ring. And Dolph chases Otis to the floor and just starts tossing him around before throwing him back in the ring. And then Dolph just kicks Otis's ass. And it wouldn't be noteworthy if Otis didn't outweigh Ziggler by like 100 pounds. And Otis just starts jiggling while Dolph slugs him. That seems to power Otis up. And Otis whips Ziggler into the corner a couple times. He dumps him out of the ring. He drives Ziggler face first in the ring post before getting him back in the ring again. Hits a pop-up World's Strongest Slam. And then in this deeply personal match, Otis begins to do the Caterpillar. And DeVille jumps on the apron. This distracts Otis, so Ziggler can kick him in the dick. And then Mandy Rose comes out with her stupid music. And Rose slaps DeVille before pummeling her. Isn't DeVille a MMA lady?
Yes.
Okay. It's believable. So she tosses the bitch in the ring, and this distracts the ref, which I liked. I enjoyed this. So the ref's distracted. So Rose uses the distraction to slide in the ring. She nails Ziggler right in the nuts. And then Otis hits his fucking Caterpillar 1, 2, 3. Then he celebrates with Mandy after the match and takes her to the back to presumably plow the shit out of her before she changes her mind.
No. This whole storyline between them, Otis was perfect gentleman, so he was gonna get that date first.
That's what he'd have you believe.
Yeah, he's gonna get that date first before he plowed her. Probably 3 dates, 4 dates, 5 dates. Those type of guys that go on many dates before they do the plowing.
Yeah, that's just like on those VH1 shows or whatever where, what'd you guys do last night? Oh, we just sat up and talked.
Yeah. Meanwhile, she's getting her back blown out by someone else because you're not doing it.
Ziggler had it in within 30 minutes. What are you talking about?
Yeah, because you're not doing it. And then it gets serious and you're like, you gotta stop getting fucked by that guy. Yeah.
Well, then we get a Edge Randy Orton hype video. Edge has returned after 9 years. He was medically unable to compete for. Let's try that again. Edge has returned to the ring after being medically unable to compete for a long ass time, 9 years. Edge got himself in the best shape of his life. He's determined to end his career on his own terms. Randy Orton comes out, tells Edge he's just like a brother to him, and welcomes him back to the WWE. Orton suggests Edge and Rated RKO make one more run at the WWE Tag Division. Edge gets all excited and bright-eyed, and he smiles, and he's like, yeah! But it's a ruse, motherfucker, because Orton hits him with an RKO and gives Edge a concerto. Then we see Beth Phoenix tearing Orton a new asshole. Orton alludes to RKOing Edge for his own good. So his kids can still have a father or some shit. And then Phoenix ends up slapping Orton. Orton RKO's Phoenix.
So he was... The reason that he gave Edge a concerto is because he needed to stop Edge because... So Edge, he returned at the Royal Rumble. Got a big pop. No one saw it coming.
Mm-hmm.
Ended up being one of like the better Royal Rumble returns ever. But Randy Orton, he says he saw that look in Edge's eyes that he thinks he can come back and do this thing full time. But, he's one injury away from being a cripple, basically. So he didn't want, he needed to stop Edge from coming back. So that's why he did the
Almost crippled
concerto.
him. Okay.
Yes.
Gotcha.
I need to help you.
That's good reasoning. So yeah, he RKO's Phoenix, which I enjoyed. Then Edge says Orton doesn't love him. He's just jealous. Then he says he's worked for everything he has, while Orton's had everything handed to him. And he challenges Orton to a last man standing match. Says that he's writing this story. And Orton says Edge might be writing the story at WrestleMania, but he's writing the last chapter. So you get Randy Orton versus Edge, last man standing match. And Edge comes out all business. Then it's Orton's turn to come out, and nothing happens but his cool theme song. Then Orton comes from behind Edge in a black hoodie and hits an RKO. Orton was dressed as one of the cameramen the entire time, which is awesome. And the ref makes Edge get to his feet before he officially starts the match, and Orton hits a second RKO just as soon as the bell rings. It was kind of funny. No, you have to get to your feet. And he does, and bam, RKO. So Edge cheats by rolling to the floor to get to his feet, which I really hate that.
That's smart.
Yeah. Orton follows, clobbers Edge with a TV camera, and this sends him over the barricade. And Orton throws Edge around the backstage area. They go into the performance gym area. And he ties Edge up to some CrossFit shit and beats on him. And then he goes to use a weightlifting plate. And Edge stops him with a kick. And he just starts beating the shit out of Orton. And he sits Orton on a chair and launches himself at Orton using the chin-up bar, which was really dumb. And he also measured him up in the chair too before just launching himself at him. Really weird. Then Orton tries to murder Edge with a weight sled while the Rated R Superstar is just down by a steel wall. And Edge moves out of the way at the last second. They start trading punches and they fight out to the ring area again. And they're kind of on the side stage thing in the crowd area. And Orton tosses Edge off the side stage and Edge lands directly onto the barricade. Then they fight to some office area and Orton just tosses Edge into a bunch of different shit. Then they fight to a boardroom for some reason. And then they fight to a boardroom, and then for some reason they have a shot of a cameraman rushing to Orton and Edge. But even though we've been watching the match the entire time, so that was really fucking weird. So then Edge monkey climbs onto the ceiling and delivers an elbow drop to Orton on the boardroom table. And then they fight back through the offices. One of the cameramen got knocked over, which I thought they were way too involved in this match. Orton's telling them to move the fuck out of the way. They're chasing shit and huffing and puffing, getting knocked over.
The getting knocked over shot was funny though. I laughed at that. They're he gets knocked over and they're still rolling with that camera and he's like, all you can see is his feet.
Yeah.
I don't know. I laughed at it.
Well, then we jump cut to Orton and Edge fighting in a storage facility. And Orton gets thrown into a ladder. Edge gets thrown into steel steps that just so happen to be lying around. And then they fight in the NXT interview area. Edge starts to shake his arm and rub his neck and looks like he's at the end of his rope. Suddenly he has a look of determination. And he puts Orton on a table that happens to be nearby. He climbs on a ladder that also happens to be nearby. And he climbs onto some storage cage thing and he does an elbow drop through the table. Then they fight back through the storage facility onto a pickup truck. Orton does a draping DDT onto the bed of the truck. And I think Orton got the worst of it, if I'm being honest. And then Edge climbs some equipment boxes onto a semi-trailer that's next to the truck. And Orton laughs and follows. So they're on the top of a semi-truck trailer. Edge is all fucked up. Orton's only slightly better. Orton psychs himself up for a punt. And then Edge meets Orton with a spear. Orton manages to get to his feet. Edge goes for another spear, but Orton hits an RKO. Then Orton climbs down the semi just so he can get some chairs. He climbs back up, tells Edge that it's all over soon. He's going to go back to his girls before he goes to concerto him again. The ref pleads with Orton not to go through with the concerto. Orton ignores the ref, but Edge just pops up and makes Orton pass out with some dumbass submission hold. And the ref starts the count. Edge stops the ref and just starts crying. And he nails Orton with a concerto. The ref didn't say a goddamn thing about Edge assassinating Orton. Biased piece of shit. And of course, Orton fails to beat the 10 count. Edge is the winner. And after the match, Edge hugged Orton's corpse and cried again. It's probably the match of WrestleMania.
Yeah, it was definitely a good match. I remember some people complained that maybe it was a little long, but
It didn't feel long. I started watching this last night, and I got to this match, and I saw how long it was, and I'm like, I'm not ready for that. So this was the first thing I watched this morning. And it was not long at all.
Yeah, I mean, people were complaining it was long, but I thought it had to be long because they were telling. First of all, they fought all over wherever they were. The training, the PC, they fought all over it.
Sure did.
But it was longer because they were actually selling, the stuff they were doing. They, just pop up and go to your next spot. Like,
right.
They were selling it. So that's why it took so long. And they were in a fight.
The selling for the most part in this WrestleMania was exquisite.
Yeah. I think when I initially watched it, I didn't appreciate it as much as I do the second time through. Yeah, it was the aspect of not having a crowd, the selling, the pain, the trash talk. This is good.
Yeah, I don't know, when Orton was climbing up to meet Edge on the semi and just how long it took him, and he was just dragging his body. Like, fuck, man. I felt it. It was just like when Rollins rolled into the ring after he was wheezing.
Yeah, so those are just some underrated touches.
But yeah, definitely the match. My favorite match of the pay-per-view.
For me, overall, I think it's probably the Boneyard match.
That's a close second. That was better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Well, Gronkowski's butt buddy Mojo Rawley gets jumped by the entire roster. And then Gronkowski jumps on everybody from a balcony and pins Rawley, then runs away like a little girl. Gronkowski is now the 24/7 champion. I don't miss that at all.
Yeah, that gimmick. The less we have of it, the better.
Yes. Well, then Austin Theory and an evil Mexican faced the Solo Cups for the Raw Tag titles. The Cups definitely drank their Red Bull before the match. And Theory looked like a child. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Zelina Vega was also present. The evil Mexican stripped off his pants for some reason, just in the middle of the match, and made a really big deal about it. Ford jumped on everybody on the floor from the top rope, screamed, "This is WrestleMania." Then the evil Mexican jumped on everybody from the top rope too, and screamed, "This is WrestleMania" as well. It's like they were both having a competition to see who would be more obnoxious. And then Theory hit his move on Dawkins, and then Ford hit a splash, and Dawkins got the pin. And I think Ford needs to lay off the drugs. And in theory, the evil Mexican and Vega beat up the Cups after the match. Belair came out and beat up Vega. And then Ford openly just simped for Belair as she was doing a retarded little hair twirl shit.
I mean, it's his wife.
Come on, man.
Simp for your wife?
He's crawling at her feet, just looking up at her. Come on. Men don't do that.
Can you simp for your wife?
You can do nice things for your wife and treat her like a lady. You don't crawl on the ground at her feet while she's twirling her stupid fake hair.
Well, don't tell him how to love his wife.
He can do whatever he wants in the privacy of his own home. Well, I gotta see it. It's a different America. Anyway. So Titus O'Neil is revealed as the new WrestleMania host. He had 0 impact. And then we had another girls match for the girls title.
This would have been that fatal 5-way, the elimination 5-way match, whatever, that I talked about earlier. Lacey Evans, Bayley, Sasha Banks, Naomi, and Tamina. Nobody meaner than Tamina. And I think that's about the order they got eliminated in. Tamina gets pinned by all the ladies in the match because, she's strong. Naomi gets...
Where's Nia Jax?
Not there.
Okay.
Wasn't she in the match before? She's probably not with the company at this point.
Okay.
Because, she got released for a couple years. Naomi, she gets eliminated. Sasha Banks gets eliminated. So we're down to Lacey Evans versus Bayley. Winner takes home the title. And Bayley wins. Because Lacey Evans never gets a title.
I caught the end of this. I actually thought Lacey was going to win.
I thought so too. And I didn't remember because she's flopped so many times, but I think she was a face at this point.
She definitely was a face.
Yeah.
And the Bayley and Sasha, they had their thing. And you can kind of see where Sasha would think that Bayley just fucked her, even though she helped her. And so I thought Sasha was going to come back and fuck Bayley, at least. But no.
She did not.
John Cena and Bray Wyatt had a hype video. Cena comes out one SmackDown to say that it's time that WrestleMania go on without him, because he knows the fans are passionate about the future of WrestleMania, and he is too. Then The Fiend appears behind Cena as he's making his exit, just to point at the WrestleMania sign. Cena tips his cap to The Fiend. Then it cuts to Cena saying some shit on Raw. Then Bray Wyatt appears, talks about losing to Cena at WrestleMania 30. Says if it wasn't for Cena, the Firefly Funhouse wouldn't exist. Wyatt says Cena broke him, but The Fiend put him back together. So challenges Cena to a Firefly Funhouse match. Cena says that he's going to finish what he started 6 years ago and the most overhyped, overvalued, overprivileged superstar that ever existed. Wyatt also attacks Cena with puppets and jump scares. Then we have John Cena versus The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, in a Firefly Funhouse match. So Cena makes his entrance. He shimmies around the stage like an idiot and then says, "Welcome to WrestleMania. also like an idiot. And then Wyatt's Firefly Funhouse cuts into Cena saying WrestleMania. Wyatt lets us know that we're about to see some real shit. Says there's another world that exists beyond our realm of comprehension. A world where our darkest urges no longer are kept secret. A world where gods, monsters, angels, and demons are neighbors. Who are we really? And why do we do the things that we do? And Wyatt wants to take a look at who John Cena really is and reveals that Cena's facing his most dangerous opponent yet, himself. And Wyatt welcomes us to Firefly Funhouse and leaves through a door. Then Cena is just standing there, and a puppet appears. God damn it! He tells Cena that Wyatt just went through the door. Cena goes through the door. And Cena steps into a dark room. It's all black. Then a Vince McMahon puppet appears, just pops up, demands that Cena show him ruthless aggression or he's fired. Then Wyatt's in the wrestling ring. He challenges anyone to come out and face him. And video of Kurt Angle issuing the same challenge is spliced in. So I guess the idea is they're reenacting Cena's debut. Then out comes Cena and the old school SmackDown entrance ramp. He's dressed like the prototype. He does this thing with Angle, and then he tries to slap Wyatt like he did with Angle. And Wyatt keeps ducking it like a fucking Looney Tune. He's talking shit. And then Wyatt runs out of the ring, and Cena follows. Then it cuts to Saturday night's. This actually made me laugh. It cuts to Saturday night's main event. The Vince puppet and Jesse Ventura Vulture puppet are on commentary. Wyatt does an 80s promo and brings out his tag partner, Cena, to also do an 80s promo. As Cena is doing curls the entire time, and then he just goes insane with the curls, like they speed it up. And then he tries to slap Wyatt again, but he can't move his arms because his muscles are burned out.
Hold on.
Yeah, go ahead.
We gotta point out the name of his tag team partner because it was funny.
Okay.
His name was hold on, I have it written down somewhere. Oh man, let's see. Saturday night's main event.
They went all out with the 80s theme, though. I appreciated the old school delivery that they both had. And they worked well together. I could actually see them being a tag team.
Yeah, I lost the name. Oh, Johnny Large Meat is his name.
Oh. There you go.
Johnny Large Meat.
Well, let me jump back to SmackDown, because why not? Cena's the doctor of thugonomics, and he starts to freestyle. Wyatt does not react, and Looney Tune music plays. Then Wyatt says some bullshit about Cena being a bully or something and wants Cena to freestyle some more. Then Cena tosses nuts into Bray Wyatt and tries to attack him. And Wyatt teleports. He wraps a chain around his fist and levels Cena. Wyatt then talks shit to Cena from his swamp. Says he's going to rewrite his story. And then they're back in the ring. Wyatt goes for his sister Abigail, but he just lets Cena go. Says that's not enough to end this. And he hands Cena a chair, gets on his knees. And Cena goes to cream Wyatt with the chair, but Wyatt teleports again. Then we cut to fucking Monday Nitro. Because I don't know what that has to do with Cena, but here we go. Wyatt is supposed to be Eric Bischoff. He's wearing NWO Wolfpack shirt, by the way. And Cena comes out wearing NWO Hollywood colors, strumming the world title belt like Hogan. And a Vince puppet cuts in and says, "That's such good shit."
Which is probably the best line of it all.
Yeah, that's true.
Good shit.
So Cena's getting in the ring, and then he just stops doing the entrance, and he starts pummeling Wyatt, and then Wyatt turns into a puppet. And then the Fiend appears behind Cena, locks into Mandible Claw, hits his sister Abigail, then locks in the mandible claw again. And Bray Wyatt counts the pin, then turns into the Fiend again, and Cena teleports away.
Literally.
Then they cut to Titus O'Neil, who appropriately says he had no idea what the fuck we just watched. Go ahead.
It was entertaining. I can't lie. I was entertained through the whole thing. It wasn't a match. Like, I remember when we were all watching it, it's like, so was that was that even a match? And like, are we saying that Bray Wyatt won? The Fiend won? Is that what we're gathering here? But I don't know. I didn't watch it as a match. I just watched it as like a spectacle or something. Honestly, to this day, I don't know what it actually is. But I enjoyed it.
Well, I watched it as a match because they built it as a fucking Firefly Funhouse match. And all this did for me was reinforce all of the things that I've said about Bray Wyatt. This was atrocious.
Oh, yeah.
This was not only was this hard to follow, the references to Cena's past weren't even his fucking past.
Yes, it was.
No, there was the debut, and then there was the Dr. Thuganomics part. There was an 80s promo part that had nothing to do with Cena. And then there was the NWO part.
Well, yes, some of it wasn't.
It had nothing to fucking do with Cena. It was just there for a cool little visual.
Like the 80s thing, that was Muscle Man Bray Wyatt in the 80s. And his big thing is, you just need big muscles to be successful, because he was always like fat until he came back as the
No, he was always fat.
So I don't know. I guess Vince really hammered over his head that you're fat. So he that Muscle Man Bray was always fixated on making fun of that or poking fun at that, like, oh, you just gotta have big muscles. You gotta keep working out and have big muscles.
Yeah, there was no logic. It was hard to follow. There was puppets. And on top of everything else, Bray Wyatt counted his own pin.
Yes, he did.
So,
and Cena just literally disappeared.
Yeah, he teleported. I don't know. Such a stupid. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck they were going with. It's like all of the good things about the Boneyard match could be said about all the bad things about this match.
Yeah. But again, I don't know if you can consider it a match, seeing as there was only 2 wrestling related things that happened.
Oh, Jesus.
The chain, hit with the chain, and then the ground and pound from John Cena. That was like the only, and then the mandible claw and Sister Abigail's.
Right.
Like,
I guess the only good thing is it wasn't that long.
Yeah.
But I'm glad we'll never have to see anything like this again. Well, then we get a McIntyre Lesnar hype video. This might be jumbled because I just watched that shit. McIntyre says it's his time to live up to the Chosen One's label. Or to his Chosen One label. Says he's just as big, fast, and strong as Lesnar. Heyman says the main event is a sham. McIntyre's a fraud. There's no way in hell he's beaten the greatest WWE champion who's ravaged the WWE. And then we get Drew McIntyre versus Brock Lesnar. WWE Championship. And it starts with Lesnar shooting on McIntyre. McIntyre hits a Claymore right off the bat. Of course, that's not the finish. Why would it be? And McIntyre goes for another Claymore. Brock sidesteps and then hits a shit ton of German suplexes and an F5. And McIntyre kicks out at 1. And then Lesnar hits another F5. McIntyre kicks out at 2. Lesnar hits a third consecutive F5. Fuck you. McIntyre kicks out of that too. It's like he's making up for last year when he was the guy that kicked out of the guy that got beat by the 1 finish.
Yeah, he's getting them in now.
So he even tells Brock to just keep hitting him with F5s because McIntyre can't keep kicking out, which is good logic, I guess. So Lesnar goes for his 4th F5. McIntyre escapes, hits 3 Claymores, 1, 2, 3. And McIntyre celebrates alone as champion. Setting up a whole year of bitching about it.
Yep, unfortunately, the shutdown is in full effect at this point, and his whole title reign is in the shutdown. And then he loses the title when the fans are back.
I think this match suffered from being so short. I think this could have been a really great match if it was longer. Instead, it just seemed thrown together.
Yeah, I mean, this was peak. What Lesnar's matches have become is just like power move. Which again is, I think it's entertaining. But they're going to go quick because you're hitting haymakers left and right.
I don't know. I think they could have had a really good match.
Yeah.
But yeah, aside from, there wasn't really anything to write home about this WrestleMania. I'd say the Sammy, Daniel Bryan, Edge and Orton, Owens and Rollins. That's about it. You can have everything else. Oh yeah, Undertaker and Styles.
Yeah, I just remember it was more so like, I don't know, we're watching WrestleMania and the world's shutting down. I don't know, there's just a lot happening outside of WrestleMania. It's probably hard for them too.
Sure.
Because, yeah, it was shutting down.
Probably, I don't know, man. They got those empty airports now.
Mm-hmm.
Although they don't have anything to bitch about, so that's probably straining, though.
Yeah.
I don't know if you that type of. I guess it would depend, because I don't think Roman Reigns is affected as much as like Tozawa.
Yeah. Well, he took his ball and went home at this point.
Oh, Roman?
Yeah. He's like, oh, I'll check you guys when this is over. But he was, auto compromised or whatever.
Right. Well, that was WrestleMania 36.
36.
And then the following episode of Raw, or on Raw, showed the hidden WrestleMania main event, in which Drew McIntyre retained the WWE Championship over Big Show. It's roughly 25 minutes after McIntyre defeated Brock Lesnar.
Yep.
Was it any good? Probably not.
No, I don't remember.
The Street Profits faced Theory and the Evil Mexican in a rematch for the titles and retained once again through disqualification, thanks to Vega. Edge and Randy Orton made their post-WrestleMania appearances later, Orton stated that at WrestleMania, the better man won, but questioned whether or not the better wrestler had actually won, noting that at the Royal Rumble and the Last Man Standing matches were non-traditional matches. And Orton challenged Edge to a normal singles match at Backlash, which Orton won. During the match, Edge legitimately tore his tricep, kind of reinforcing Orton's gripe to begin the feud.
And that was actually billed as the greatest wrestling match ever. Like, that was the name of it.
The Backlash match?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that was the name of it. The greatest wrestling match ever.
Oh, they billed it as... Oh, okay.
Yeah. It wasn't the greatest. That was the
gotcha.
literal name of it.
Like once in a lifetime?
Yeah.
Where after recovering from his tricep tear, Edge returned at the 2021 Royal Rumble, where he and Orton entered at number 1 and number 2. The two brawled at ringside, and Edge injured Orton's leg, taking Orton out of the majority of the match. Orton returned at the closing moments of the match, where he attempted to eliminate Edge. However, Edge countered and eliminated Orton to win the Men's Royal Rumble. Orton then faced Edge in a rubber match the following night on Raw, where, thanks to a distraction by Alexa Bliss, it's part of a storyline between Orton and Bliss, and the Fiend, Bray Wyatt, Edge defeated Orton, putting an end to their rivalry. Which, I don't know how a concerto to the fucking head on a semi-truck isn't the end of a rivalry, but there you go. On SmackDown, Bray Wyatt interrupted the new champion Braun Strowman after a match. Wyatt reminded Strowman that it was he who brought him to the WWE and with his old Wyatt family stable. Wyatt, who had lost to Goldberg at the Super Showdown, then stated he wanted to take his title back. Strowman accepted the challenge, and the match was scheduled for Money in the Bank, though it was against Wyatt's normal self instead of the Fiend. Stupid. So I guess that's the only way he can lose, is if he's Bray Wyatt. It's even stupider. So Tucker faced Dolph Ziggler in a rematch from SmackDown prior to WrestleMania. And on a later SmackDown, Otis defeated Ziggler again to qualify for the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. Nothing about... Yeah. Then it would be 2 years before Roman Reigns and Goldberg would have their originally scheduled match for the Universal Championship. Reigns made his return at the 2020 SummerSlam, won the title at Payback. Reigns remained champion for the next year and into 2022. And then Goldberg confronted Reigns. They set up a match for the two at Elimination Chamber. And at the event, Reigns defeated Goldberg to retain. It's a good deal. And then the Raw, SmackDown, and pay-per-views continue to be broadcast through the Performance Center until August, before relocating to Orlando's Amway Center with a new virtual fan viewing experience called the Thunderdome.
The Thunderdome.
They then moved to Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg, Florida, and then Yuengling Center in Tampa. And broadcasts of NXT were done from its home base of Full Sail University in Winter Park, Florida, until October. And then it was relocated to the Performance Center and rebranded to Capitol Wrestling Center. And NXT's version of the Thunderdome... Oh, I'm sorry. The Capitol Wrestling Center was NXT's version of the Thunderdome. It was an homage to WWE's predecessor, the Capitol Wrestling Corporation. And they also released several talents due to budget cuts during the pandemic. This included Hall of Famer Kurt Angle, Rusev, Drake Maverick, Zack Ryder, Kurt Hawkins, Carl Anderson, Luke Gallows, Heath Slater, Eric Young, Rowan, Sarah Logan, No Way Jose, Mike Chioda, Mike Kanellis, Maria Kanellis, EC3, Aiden English, Leo Rush, The Colognes, Cain Velasquez, and many other behind-the-scenes employees. However, following his loss in the finals of the interim NXT Cruiserweight Championship tournament, Maverick was re-signed with the company for some reason. And it was reported that WWE reached out to some other release talent, though they wanted to pay him lower.
Well, you see, Maverick, just being Drake Maverick, he went viral on social media after his release because he was literally crying about WWE was his dream and he got fired.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So he was literally crying.
He victimed his way back into a job.
Well, he didn't necessarily. He just put out a video after he got released, and he's crying about that being his dream.
Yeah, and then the ass pats that he got and all the outrage. Oh, why is Drake Maverick? You guys are mean.
Yeah, so yeah, he got so much. He garnered so much attention.
Yeah, he got victimed back into a position at WWE.
But he didn't necessarily ask for it. It just
he did so. He posted the fucking video of him crying.
He didn't ask for his job back. He didn't ask for another chance.
What do you think was going to happen? Oh, I'm crying because I lost my job. Me and 20 other fucking people got released. But I'm crying. I'm special.
A lot of people do their little... You call it crazy, but some of these lower wrestlers have a following, have fans. So they release
post something. I'll be at this place, or hey, I got my 90 days. Just hold tight. I'll be back. Don't worry. You haven't heard the last of me. That's fine. You don't fucking post a video of yourself crying like a little bitch. Especially when you were in nothing.
Well, if you heard the video, he said it was his dream.
So? It's everybody's dream. It's most of their dreams to be in the WWE.
Okay.
Well, unless it's the women.
He's passionate about it.
Okay. He's not the only one.
He's not. But
and for him he knows what he was doing.
I don't think he did.
Yeah. I think he probably didn't know it was going to lead to another job, but he knew he was going to get fucking victim points.
Why would he know that was...
Because he posted the video of him crying. You don't post a video of you crying without wanting ass pats or expecting ass pats.
I think that's more so what he was going for. Is like he's just looking for don't worry, keep your head up, just keep working. But yeah, it got so much attention. It was like,
yeah,
I guess we're gonna have to bring you back.
He victimed himself into a position back into the WWE.
Like it went, like news started to catch on to it and everything. Like, oh, WWE released this heartbroken.
Well, look at him now.
And then they brought him back and then he got fired again. Did he cry the second time? I don't know.
Probably.
And he was stuck in the 24/7 or the 24/7 title.
Oh yeah.
That's what he got brought back to. I take that back. He got a push when he came back too, like an actual like beating people push. I think he won the cruiserweight title. Didn't you say that?
I believe so. Yeah.
So yeah, that him winning the title was the result of him crying from getting released.
Well, then WrestleMania 37 was initially announced for SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California. And then it was reported that WWE would consider relocating the event to Raymond James Stadium in order to allow for in-person attendance at the reduced capacity, which was not possible under California's health orders. And then WWE officially announced the move they officially announced the move, and it was the first WWE event to have ticketed fans in attendance during the pandemic with limited capacity. And yeah, they had safety protocols. And they returned to live touring in mid-July of that year.
Yep.
Yep. WrestleMania 36. And we have WrestleMania 37, night 1 to look forward to. That is, of course, in Tampa, like I just said. The the last match for night 1 is Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair. So that'll be fun to hear about. But before that, we get out of the WWE land and go to WCW Starrcade 1998. Took place in the MCI Center, Washington, D.C. The main event was a no disqualification match between Goldberg and Kevin Nash for the WCW World Heavyweight Championship. Now remember, their feud began when Nash won the Battle Royal at World War III.
I'm nervous.
Other matches included Diamond Dallas Page versus The Giant. We have Eric Bischoff versus Ric Flair for some reason. We have Conan versus Chris Jericho for the Cruiserweight title. I'm sorry, the television title. And then Billy Kid.
The whole when Ric Flair was like, was he GM or
I don't know.
Like that, and he was.
I can't remember. He was president or some shit. They didn't have GMs.
Yeah, and he was begging Eric Bischoff to face him for the no. Yeah, I don't remember exactly, but I do remember very vividly the promo where he basically stripped down to his underwear and he was elbow dropping money in his clothes.
Yeah, he did do that.
And then he's throwing the shoes, and Gene Okerlund was like, "There goes the shoes." I remember that promo very vividly.
Well, hopefully they replay it if that's the case. But I don't know. And then the last match to look forward to is Billy Kidman versus the LWO for the Cruiserweight title. He has a triple threat match with Rey Mysterio and Juventud, and then a match with Eddie Guerrero. And yep, that is it.
All right. And I think he actually even did the rolling knee. This going back to Flair. He even did the rolling knee on his
blazer.
Yeah. Which took it over the top. The actual, because he would always do the elbow drop, but then he actually did the knee.
Well, that's when he was really pissed.
Yeah, and he rolled through it. Like normally you would just drop on your knee and that's it, but he rolled through the knee. But before we get out of here, we got some news stories to cover.
Get those pulled up.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now.
We're gonna check the chat. If you're enjoying the show, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I don't think anybody is. We got one watching. What's up, one in the chat? We were up to 10. But
oh wow! What'd you do to drive them off?
They left after the Mania.
Oh yeah, they did, didn't they?
Yeah, they heard what they needed. It's like, oh, we got our part. We're out. So, we start off with the stories. Now, being a wrestling channel, I thought it was only fair that we would mention this because it happened. Maybe it's big news, maybe it's not. But AEW, they had a show this past weekend. It was called Spring Breakthrough. And the significance of that show, was that they officially passed WCW as the... Now, this being Nitro, so we gotta set the table there. It's being Nitro, but they passed WCW Nitro as the longest running wrestling weekly show on TV, on either TBS or TNT. So the Warner networks. Oh, where'd you go? Hold on. He'll be right back. Just give it a second. Or maybe you won't. Or was it me? Let me see. No, I still see the counter, so we're still alive. I'm still alive. He'll be right back. Well, I got you here. What did you guys think of WrestleMania? Did you enjoy it? Did you not enjoy it? I think it was, if I'm being honest, it was probably, like I said, it was pretty weak towards the beginning, and it ended much better. Oh no. Just a second, we got some stuff going on here. Technical difficulties.
Ah,
You're back.
yeah, that was weird. But more importantly, the stream didn't just get cut off. But we lost our guy. That means I'm the star. I'm sorry, fans. I'm sorry. Harry's still here. Cha cha.
Well, maybe it's because I was just literally sitting there.
Oh, give me 1 second. Boy, we just always seem to fall apart around story time, don't we? God damn.
Yeah.
Let's try this again. Let me close out the notes. I guess the good thing about having no one watching right now is we can fuck up.
Yeah, no one's gonna make it this deep. Good.
All right.
But I'm gonna eat some chips. I'm gonna eat one chip. Hold on. All right. And that wasn't just because I'm fat. That was actually to get some flavor in my mouth.
All right, you said no Triple H, no Nick Khan, no Roman, no Cena, right?
Yes.
We're doing AEW and the AAA.
Yep.
Okay. You said only 30 seconds of the, I guess the the WA. Okay. Good deal. Let me. So I'm good at having everything prepared ahead of time, but when shit goes wrong. All right.
That is right. Right. So we got night one pay-per-view. 1 story, 2 story, retro. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and hit it.
All right. Seeing as we are a wrestling channel, it would be kind of malpractice of us, if you will, if we didn't mention some big news that happened in the wrestling world this weekend or this week. So, where'd I go? What the hell? I'm back. So AEW, they had a show this past weekend. It was billed as Spring Breakthrough. Now, the significance of this show is with that show on Wednesday Night Dynamite, it was their 289th Dynamite episode, which stamped them in the history books as being the longest running program that's on Prime. Sorry, hold on. With that, it stamped them as being the longest running weekly primetime wrestling show on TBS or TNT. Now, that means that they beat WCW. Qualifier, they beat WCW Nitro because WCW as a whole did run longer than that, but they weren't on prime time. So you see, we got all the qualifiers there. It had to be prime time, it had to be weekly, and it had to be a wrestling show. So it's because WCW only had that run with Nitro, AEW has officially beat them.
I don't see what the big deal about beating a dead company is.
Well, it was just, to rub it in their face that, we beat you. Because, Eric Bischoff always, I don't know, he always says WCW was better, or he says WCW was better than AEW. And it's like, oh, well, we're the longest running. I don't know. It's just another notch on the old belt for Tony Khan.
Yeah, I guess, but I don't know if the company that you're making fun of isn't around to react to it. You're kind of just farting in the wind, aren't you?
Yeah. So you don't think it's anything to flex about?
No, I think it's dumb.
Which is,
especially when you have WWE that's been around for decades. They both need to sit down with that shit.
yeah. Speaking of WWE, so Dynamite runs on a Wednesday. There's virtually no competition outside of what Dave Meltzer would have you believe, which is like anything. Because he's over here talking about the NCAA hockey championship, was
Okay.
on TV, so that's why it took away from the ratings, the wrestling ratings, because
Are you
that's a
serious?
big, yeah,
Wow.
that's a big crossover. That hockey crowd watching NCAA hockey to
He's not
wrestling.
even trying to hide it anymore. It's like he's going out of his way to find new lows to sink to.
Yeah, he just finds anything. I always joke that anytime Dynamite comes on, he has that TV guide open. Like, oh, what are we gonna? We gotta look for some excuses. But that does bring up a question: Is do you think? Because again, they're on a Wednesday. There's nothing on Wednesday outside. Don't believe Meltzer. There's nothing on Wednesday. So WCW, they had to go on Mondays up against Raw, which may have contributed to why they didn't last as long as they did.
It also
So
contributed to some of the best wrestling in history.
It did. But do you think, let's say AEW was in that position, do you think we'd be having this conversation at all if they had to go Monday against Raw?
I think they'd still be around because they're going to be around as long as Tony Khan puts money into it.
Yeah. As long as his dad puts money into it.
Well, that too.
Who does have deep pockets.
As long, I guess, because they keep, from what I understand, they keep losing viewers. They've plateaued at a significantly lower viewership than what they started at. And that doesn't seem to be concerning TNT or TBS at all, as far as letting them keep their wrestling program.
Yeah, and that's the part you would have to take into consideration. So maybe the company would be around, but would they be on TV this long? Because I would think that if they were going head to head with Raw, I mean, maybe now they'd be more competition because but I don't know. I think if they were going head to head, then it would affect the numbers a lot more than the NCAA hockey championship.
I don't know. They seem to have carved out their own little niche audience, though. They're going to watch them no matter what. I think that's kind of what their numbers indicate.
But those numbers are going down.
Those aren't the loyal ones.
But it used to be. Like the loyal, I don't know, maybe like a year or two ago, 700,000 was a pretty consistent number. Now they're getting like 500,000. Oh, but you got to add the max numbers in, so it's another 500,000. That's another thing they say.
Well, they drove away their biggest stars.
Yeah.
So
They did drive away Punk.
And Cody. To an extent, Starks. I wouldn't say he was a big AEW star, but he was kind of a major player.
Yeah, so NXT, they had their Stand and Deliver pay-per-view, which I haven't watched, or I'll probably watch, but we had Ricky Starks versus Ethan Page, and apparently they've done this for weeks, but apparently during the match they chanted Tony fumbled, and then the other thing they chanted after a while was "Thank you, Tony."
There you go.
So, because this is basically in some world you can say that maybe that would have been a world title match program or something, at least for Ricky Starks Saints. But the numbers don't lie. AEW has surpassed Monday Nitro.
The cards don't. I can't do it.
Yeah. But the numbers don't lie, which means it's a better show than Nitro. says the numbers. But let us know what you think about it. I know it's very divisive on whether or not that means it's a better show. And again,
I don't see why anybody gives a shit.
well, I don't know. You do have some people who you have WCW tribalists, even though the company's not around. Like, there's still every few years you start hearing rumblings that they're going to bring back WCW and like WWE is going to bring it back, which wouldn't be good. But there's always, I remember, so there was that. I think last year there was a rumor going around that Shane McMahon was going to bring back WCW. So all I have to say is they still have a following, even though, I mean, let's take a look right now. So there's a WCW channel on YouTube, and it is. Are they not live? No, they're live. Okay, so WCW, they're live right now. Oh.
They have 236,000 subscribers. Just a couple more than ours.
Just a couple. Actually, the number's not good right now, but it's also like, early in the morning, but they got 400 people watching right now. But that number gets, like, during the day, they got people watching. So, I don't know. It's a thing. It just shows that people still enjoy WCW for what it was, when it was. And they'd rather watch that than, like, I see people, I pop in the chat every once in a while, and I'll see people like, oh, I'd rather watch this than Raw.
Of course. It's much better.
Yeah. So there's that. But let us know what you think about it in the comments. I'm sure the comments will be civil on that. And they're about to get more civil because our next story, and this is breaking news straight off the presses as of today. So I watched the WrestleMania Night 1 post show as I usually do. And there was a moment that happened during the post show that was announced. WWE, well, actually, we'll let them tell you for themselves. So let's go to the WWE account and listen in on the major announcement that they said during the pre-show. Now, if you see the picture, you can already tell no sound.
Flanked by some of the top business.
Yes.
Sound? Okay,
Yes.
cool. Good. Do your thing again.
All right, so yeah, let's listen in the whole thing.
I got it. It's good.
Ladies and
Let's
gentlemen,
listen in.
I am flanked by some of the top business leaders in the world. I am flanked by some of the top luchadors in the world for a major announcement here this afternoon. WWE is announcing the acquisition of Mexican Lucha Libre promotion AAA. The acquisition is in partnership with Mexico-based sports and entertainment holding company Philippe. Joining me here tonight, Dorian Roldan Pena, Triple.
And before we even get into too much more of it, Stephanie Vacure, my God.
Thank
and
God for Stephanie McCool.
Yeah, we need to get on our knees and thank God for. But yeah, it is announced that WWE has officially, and I guess the more shocking part is that they acquired AAA, and not just like they also announced that there's going to be like a joint pay-per-view. But I think the shocking thing here is that they actually acquired it. Major for the business.
Is it?
It is major for the business. Yes. It shrinks the pool, like the talent pool. It shrinks the pool.
Of course.
Yes, AEW they have CMLL that they can still work with, but there's a lot less talent available in the Mexican territory now because it's what it feels like. It's just like they're taking over the territories.
Pretty much. And I mean, I think regardless, they're gonna WWE-ize AAA, and I would suspect that the really good people from AAA are just gonna make it to WWE.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, for right here already, they have that guy standing to the over the shoulder. I don't know how to describe it. So the
The
guy
guy
with
that's
no
half
shirt on.
naked.
Yeah, the guy with no shirt on there. He is Vikingo, and he is a part of AAA. I don't know if he's. I'm not gonna lie to you and say he's. I know he's champion, or I don't know anything about AAA, but he may be champion, or maybe he's not. But he's already prominent there. Oh, by the way, he used to be pretty prominent on AEW television too. There's another thing.
Not anymore.
Yeah, he jumped quick. But yeah, and they have announced that there's going to be this pay-per-view, this world, some kind of what's the name of it? Hold on. Where'd it go? Worlds Collide, and it's going to be in June. So, is this enough to bring you into AAA? You're gonna pay attention to it.
Gotta know. They have a developmental show / brand that sucks. They have 2 main shows that suck. I'm not gonna watch some fucking international show that sucks.
That's fair. I don't, I don't, I don't go that deep with it. I just say I'm not gonna watch it because, yeah, I didn't watch AAA before, and just because you put the WWE name behind it, I'm still not gonna watch it.
Yeah, and I'm just more concerned about the impact that WWE's gonna, the negative impact that WWE's gonna have on AAA. Because again, that just like we were saying last week with New Japan, that was a Japanese staple. Well, AAA is a Mexican staple. There's a lot of tradition in that promotion.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they WWE eyes it. I will tell you, there's one thing that there's there's just one thing that obviously there that they have to go down this road. Yes, it'll WWE and eyes it, but I just think the opportunity is here, and there's no way they can't take it. That being Grande Americana as the AAA champion, they have to they have to do it.
Oh boy.
It just doesn't. Yeah, I don't see how you can't do it. Like just the amount of heat he would garner just from being champion, and yeah, it just makes too much sense to not do it. Maybe that's why they bought the whole thing. So actually, it's obvious that they probably bought AAA so they can get to his video library. You know, Grande Americana. They had to get his video library. That's what they really wanted.
Oops.
Uh-oh.
I just messed that up.
But yeah, the WWE is expanding. They now have AAA under their belts. We'll see what plays out. I'm not gonna. I'll tell you now. I'm not gonna go out of my way to watch it. Like even this World Collide, like I guess it depends on if it's like like if they're building it as a PLE, like a in the rotation PLE that we would cover on the channel. And then I might watch it then, but outside of that, I'm not watching. I'm not gonna go sit down and watch weekly AAA.
Yeah, if it's in the rotation, I'll watch it, but I'll just chalk it up like I do with the SmackDown, or not SmackDown, the NXT pay-per-views.
Yeah, like if we would cover those, then I would be more. I would make more reason to watch them, but we don't cover them, so I'm not gonna watch it. Also, it's a time thing because WWE they are on like every night, so. But there you have it. I don't really have any much more to say about it. And we are running, it's Easter, so actually cut that part out. I don't want to date ourselves.
You don't want to date ourselves by talking about a dated story.
Yeah, okay. But there you go. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Is this a big deal for the wrestling industry? Is this going to be a game changer as everybody thinks it might be? Or is it just another thing that we're going to get shoved down our throats that we're not going to care about? Big sip on that. And on that note, I do have a new ending that I'm going to try out. I'm going to need you to play along too.
Oh, Jesus.
But on that note, as we get out of here, it's time for a survey. Did you guys come here? And chat, if you're here, you type it in too. Did you guys come here to watch Fightful?
Oh, now we're invoking other other channels.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Just say no.
Oh no.
Did you guys come here to watch Wrestle Talk?
No. This is stupid.
Or did you guys come here to watch the show? Maybe if I opened, like if I did that at the beginning of the, like, at the beginning of the show. Anyway, just say
Yes.
yes. It's just workshop. And
you don't workshop live.
Well, survey says one more for the good guys. No, I thought about it. Maybe I need a soundboard with cheers and boos. And then you don't have to do it.
Good night, everybody.